Live from the fabulous Forum, the Los Angeles Kings meet last season's Adams Division winner, the Montreal Canadiens. Hi, everybody. This is Bob Miller along with Nick Nixon. The fans coming in for tonight's National Hockey League game between the Kings and the Montreal Canadiens here at the fabulous Forum. And last season, Nick, this is the first meeting this year, but last season, the Kings were unable to beat Montreal.
That's right. The record last year was 0-2-1. The Kings could not muster a win. It's been kind of a Homer series the last few years. The Kings haven't won in Montreal since 1979, and in the last 7 meetings here on Forum Ice, the Kings are 5-2 against the Montreal Canadiens.
We're going to see a Kings line change tonight. Marcel Dion, who had been at right wing, is going to move back to center.
Well, that's right. Brian Wilkes will sit out. Brian Wilkes, they're going to have to make a decision on him shortly. If he plays 10 games, he's with the Kings for the rest of the year. If they don't want to keep him, he goes back to juniors for the rest of the year. So Dion, after playing the last 3 games on right wing, will move back at center with Hawkinson on the right and Brian McClellan on the left.
Assistant coach Mike Murphy is live downstairs, and Murph, in the last game the Kings played here against Edmonton the other night, they came out with some relentless forechecking, had 25 shots on goal in the first period. What's the game plan for tonight against Montreal?
Well, Bob, I think that the past knowledge of Montreal is that they're the Flying Frenchmen and that they're a very similar team to the Oilers, but recently that's not the true scouting report on them. They're a very defensive-minded team, and they're not going to give you much tonight. So what we have to do is that relentless forechecking to continue with it, try to get some scoring opportunities, get the lead, and if we can get the lead, then I think they're going to be under the gun because they don't have a great deal of offense like they've had in the past. So that's our game plan for tonight. Put pressure on them, get the scoring chances, and get them down so they can't get into that rigid defensive style of play that they're very well known for around the league right now.
Kings assistant coach Mike Murphy downstairs. It's the Kings and the Montreal Canadiens, and we'll be back with the start of is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
It'll be hockey night at the Forum when the Kings meet Mario Lemieux and the Pittsburgh Penguins as Prime Ticket continues its exclusive coverage of Kings hockey. Although the Penguins were a drastically improved club last season, the Kings still managed to beat them all 3 times they took to the ice. That'll give former LA coach Bob Berry extra incentive when he brings his team to the Forum. Don't miss the Kings and the Pittsburgh Penguins exclusively on the Prime Ticket television network. Laser Soccer returns to the Forum as one of the major indoor soccer league's most exciting clubs comes in for a showdown. It'll be the Cleveland Force providing the opposition as the Lasers look to get back on the winning beam. And remember, Prime Ticket is your place for all the season's explosive Lasers action. So be sure to tune in when the Lasers meet the Cleveland Force right here on the Prime Ticket television network.
Bob Miller along with Nick Nixon here at the fabulous Forum. The Kings taking on the Montreal Canadiens tonight.
Bob, we have some out-of-town scores in the third period. Philadelphia in front of Boston 4-2, a final. The Islanders over New Jersey 3-2. Third period, Pittsburgh leading Chicago 2-1. St. Louis and Toronto at Maple Leaf Gardens 2-1 Toronto in the third. Hartford and Quebec tied in the third period at 3. Minnesota.
Gary Hitton won
same on Tuesday.
title.
And 2 other contests. Calgary has won at Washington 5-4, and Vancouver is winning at Winnipeg 4-1 in the third period. Vancouver last night drubbed in Edmonton by a score of 13-0. And right here at the fabulous Forum, both clubs line up at the respective blue lines, and we'll get the playing and singing of "O Canada" and "America the Beautiful" from Frank Mahoney.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, to sing the Canadian national anthem followed by "America the Beautiful," here is Mr. Frank Mahoney.
The officials for tonight's game, the referee is Brian Lewis, the linesman Jim Christensen, along with Swede Knox. Doug Sotart, who has not lost to the Kings in his last 12 decisions in goal. He is 0-1-1, just his third game for Montreal this year. They're carrying 3 goaltenders, an average of 4.32. For the Kings, it'll be Bob Janusek, 2-4-1 in his first month of play in the regular season. This will be his 4th straight start, an average of 4.76, and lifetime against Montreal, he is 0-1. The Kings start Nichols, Taylor, and Sykes up front with Redmond and Engblom on defense. And here with period number 1, Bob Miller.
All right, Nick, thank you very much. As the faceoff comes to the Montreal Canadiens back in their own zone. Green over to Larry Robinson. He wraps it around the boards out to Ryan Walder. Walder checked there at center ice by Redmond. Puck is taken by the Kings' Dave Taylor, and Taylor drives it into the Montreal zone. Game just underway here with the Forum. Back behind the net. Check thrown by Phil Sykes, but the Canadians come out with it now. Guy Carbonneau on the right wing. Can't get around former Montreal Canadian Brian Engblom. Now Carbonneau sends it into the Kings zone. Ryan Walder had it. He couldn't hold it. Kings clear it back out to center. Larry Robinson, veteran defenseman, 14th year with the Montreal Canadiens, fires it into the Kings zone. Here's Engblom celebrating his 3rd wedding anniversary tonight. Congratulations to he and wife Cindy. Puck is taken by the Kings right side. Nichols shooting, and a glove stop made by Sotart. Although the shot was going to be high, Doug Sotart reached out and grabbed it and hangs on for the face-off. This is an official copyrighted broadcast of California sports and the Los Angeles Kings, and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use of the accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Kings is prohibited. Nice to have you with us tonight on KLAC Radio and the Prime Ticket Television Network. And the face-off now will be to the left of goaltender Doug Sotart. Doug Smith out for the Kings. Paul Gay on the right wing, and Tiger Williams on the left side. And off the draw comes to Gary Galley. Galley at the right point sends it in behind the net. Doug Smith to Tiger Williams. He shoots, and a save by Sotart. Rebound. Smith shoots. Another save by Sotart. Hit him in the chest. Puck comes behind the net. Tiger Williams had it. Poked away from him. Gary Galley pinches in. He holds it in. Gives it to Tiger Williams. Williams checked by Tom Curvers. Puck comes around left point. Held in the Canadian zone by Wells. Down to the corner to Smith. He lost it there. Chelios couldn't clear it. Kings hold it in. Gay to Smith. Behind the net to Tiger Williams. Taken away by Tom Curvers of Montreal. He clears it out to center ice. 2 good stops by the goaltender Sotart. Kings with it again. Doug Smith. His shot deflected wide. Rebound Tiger Williams. Left wing side. Up the middle to Doug Smith. Taken away by Montreal. Pass out to center ice. Broken up there by the Kings. Jay Wells. Kings starting out fast, but the Canadians taken away. Left side Naslund shooting, and a stop made by Janusek. Naslund again to the blue line. Tom Curver shoots. Save. Rebound. Loose puck with an open net, and a penalty coming up. Holding is the call against the Kings. But maybe, Nick, a pretty good penalty to take right there, because the puck was loose and the wide open net on the right side. No score. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Now, Chevy announces finance savings up to $1,524 on new 85 S10 Blazer, America's most popular sport utility vehicle. Choose InstaTrack 4-wheel drive, available V6, all the comforts. Save up to $1,060 on new 85 S10 pickup and Maxi Cab 2. Get big 8.8% finance savings on any new 85 Chevy S10 in dealer stock. But this offer is for a limited time, so hurry.
See your Southern California Chevrolet dealer and get what you're driving for.
Jay Wells is going to get the game's first penalty for holding at 1:41. The Canadians looking for position in front of Bob Janusek for a rebound, and Jay Wells goes to the penalty box. The Canadians work on the power play. Power play second to the Edmonton Oilers. They are 22 of 71, a percentage of 31.
And off the draw, right point, Larry Robinson over to the left side. Chris Chelios with it now. Chelios down along the boards, gives it back at the blue line. Now Larry Robinson shooting off the pass. It's wide and coming off the boards. The puck is covered by goaltender Bob Janusek.
Not in the lineup tonight for the Los Angeles Kings, Glenn Curry and Mark Hardy, who have not seen action all year. Brian Wilkes is healthy, but not in the lineup. And Jimmy Fox will be out for at least 2 weeks with a bad back. Tremblay, Deblois, Rooney, goaltender Steve Penny, and Mike Laller, a rookie defenseman, the scratches for the Canadians.
Draw one by the Kings. Dion draws it in now to Redmond. Can't clear it. Canadians hold it in. Larry Robinson over to Matt Snaslin, their leading scorer last year and again this year, to Ryan Walter. Now down in the corner. Canadians still with it. It's poked into the corner on the right side as Redmond is there, but Ryan Walter with it. Walters pass back along the boards, right side. Canadian shell Dahlin to Larry Robinson. Out of the left point now to Chelios to Robinson. He gives it at the right point to Dahlin. His pass broken up by Redmond. He clears it up the center to Dion. Dion gives it on the right side to Nichols. Nichols into the Montreal zone trying to get around Chris Chelios. He can't do it. Chelios, born in Chicago but raised in San Diego, has a lot of his family and friends here tonight. Pass on the right side to Ryan Walter, and an offside called against Montreal as the pass was broken up by Anders Hawkinson out on the penalty killing unit for the Kings. 1:05 to go, and the King penalty to Jay Wells. There's no score in the first period. 17:24 left to go in period number 1. Face-off will be right outside the King blue line in front of the King bench. King penalty killers, Hawkinson and Sykes up front, Dean Kennedy and Rick LaPointe back on defense.
Canadians with some pretty good point men in their defensemen, Curvers, Chelios, Robinson, Ludwig. They move the puck well and look for the Canadians on the power play to work it back on the points.
Dean Kennedy cleared it out to center, taken by Montreal again. They're moving left to right. Here's Chris Chelios. He slaps it hard around the boards. Held in by Stefan Richer. Down to the blue line. Held in by Chelios. He drives into the right wing corner. Picked up there in deep, and the puck comes loose. Richer goes forward to the corner. Kicked ahead by Sykes, but Larry Robinson holds it in, and he's checked hard from behind by Dean Kennedy. Canadians will again pass up the middle. Chelios shoots. Save Janusek, and he covers up. Chelios from about 50 feet away, right at the top of the slot with a drive, and Bob Janusek with a save with 34 seconds remaining now on the power play.
Bob Janusek went down. The puck was deflected in front of him, and Janusek reacted quickly, made the save, but Chelios with a hard shot from the top of the slot. 6'1", 200, a native of Chicago, as Bob just mentioned. Robinson took that stiff check from Dean Kennedy, but regained his composure, and the Canadians were able to set it up on the point. There's 34 seconds left on the penalty to Jay Wells.
Bobby Smith out at center for Montreal, scored the 200th goal of his NHL career last Tuesday in Hartford. He'll face off against the Kings, Marcel Dion. 33 seconds up to go in the Montreal power play. Canadians with it, Kings zone. Right wing side, Sergio Momesso to Rick Green. Green's blast in, tipped away from right in front of the net by Redmond. Picked up by Momesso, goes behind the net. Sergio Momesso, born in Montreal. He gets it from Stefan Richer. Out to the left side to Peter Svoboda. Back to Momesso. Centering pass broken up by the Kings. Bernie Nichols back to center with Dion. Gives it to Dion. Across the blue line. He shoots, and a stick save by Doug Sotart. 7 seconds up to go in the King penalty. Kings almost intercept in the Montreal zone, but Rick Green has it now. He leads it up to Bobby Smith. Smith to the King line. Penalty's over. Kings are back at full strength. Smith down the right side. Shoots wide to the left. Rebound to Peter Svoboda out of Czechoslovakia. Back to Bobby Smith. Smith left wing side. Now the Canadians pass in front to Momesso, broken up and cleared by the Kings' Bernie Nichols. Up to Dion. Dion across the line, down the right side. He shoots, and a stick save by the goaltender Sotart. Puck is held in by Rick LaPointe. But now it comes out to center, chased down by Stefan Richer. He's got a man with him, Svoboda. Richer's pass broken up in the slot by Craig Redmond, and Redmond clears it back out to center ice. Both teams at full strength. 15:43 to go, first period. Bob Miller with Nick Nixon. Canadians with it. Down the left side, Claude Lemieux, the rookie, just called up, centers it, and a shot banned on by Mike McPhee, and the puck taken by the Kings. Kennedy leads it up the center. Now down the right side. Doug Smith trying to get in deep, and he is checked and knocked down against the boards by Curvers. Puck is held in by the Kings, and no, it got by Dean Kennedy at the right point, all the way back down into the Kings zone. Cleared back out to center ice by Bob Janusek. No score first period. 15:15 to go in the period. Canadians moving left to right, and here's Chris Chelios. He comes up to center. His pass now to the King line, and down the right side, Brian Scrudlin. Who are these guys? They said a line from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. It applies here. Left side, Mike McPhee with a drive for Montreal. Taken away by the Kings. Up to center ice. Here is Marcel Dion into the Montreal zone, but it's poke checked off his stick and cleared back to the King line.
Now taken by Gary Galley. Galley fires it back behind the Montreal net. Chased in by McClellan. He couldn't get to it. Dion with it right side. It gets away from him. Gary Galley holds it in to Dion. Dion wraps it around the boards. Comes over on the left side to Hawkinson. Into Brian McClellan. McClellan tried to pass up the middle to Dion. Broken up by the Canadiens. Shell Dahlin goes for it. Didn't get it. Taken by McClellan for the Kings. Montreal zone. Into Hawkinson. He didn't get it. Dion centers it right out in front. But nobody there but Brian Skrudland for Montreal. And he clears it back into the Kings zone.
Well, the Smith line with Williams and Gay, some good pressure their first shift, but since then the Kings have not had that sustained pressure on Sotard.
Two-line pass called against the Kings. 14:15 to go in the first period. There's no score, and this game is coming to you live from the fabulous Forum.
Los Angeles Kings hockey is brought to you by Michelin. Michelin, the official tire of the Kings, has hit Southern California roads with their new Sport XGT Radial, made for the driver who craves excitement. And remember, see your Michelin dealer for the XH Radial, longest-lasting tire in America.
Face-off in the Kings zone. About 10 feet or 15 feet inside the blue line. 14:15 to go here in the first period. The Kings unofficially have outshot the Canadiens 4-2.
Bernie Nichols out to take the draw, averaging over a point a game in his short career, and he's also working on a personal 6-game point-scoring streak. 7 points in that span. Bernie has gone without points in only 3 of the games this year.
Had 2 nice goals the other night against the Edmonton Oilers in the 4-4 tie. Kings moving right to left. Here's Phil Sykes. He drives it into the Montreal zone. Chased in by Dave Taylor. Taylor checked by Rick Green. Loose puck. Sykes with it. He loses it. Taylor with it. His pass in front to Nichols, and it was up in the air, and he got his stick on it, but it bounced off his stick and was caught in the glove of goaltender Doug Sotard.
Well, Sotard reacting quickly as that puck was bouncing around in the air. 2 Canadians ran into each other. Taylor makes the play by going in the zone quickly, and he almost forced that turnover. Nichols tried to bat it out of the air about 3 feet off the ice, but Sotard stayed right with Bernie. Fortunately for the Canadiens goaltender, he had Nichols not get much wood on that little chip shot from 2 or 3 feet.
Nichols will take the face-off now to the right of Doug Sotard. Bobby Smith out to take the draw for Montreal. Wednesday night, Kings here against the Detroit Red Wings. And next Saturday, the Pittsburgh Penguins are here. I'm taken by Peter Svoboda. He gives it to Larry Robinson. Robinson behind his own net. Headmans it up to Smith. Now on the right wing. Here is Sergio Momesso. Flips it down into the King zone behind the net. Goaltender Bob Janicek did let it go there. It was almost centered out in front, but now the Kings control it. Here's Bernie Nichols, but he can't clear it. Held into the right point. Canadians in the King zone. No score. Pass up the middle now to Larry Robinson. Tipped away, but held in. Bob Gainey at the right point. Gainey's pass along the boards. Canadians still with it. Bobby Smith, he's checked there. His pass comes in deep, taken away by the Kings. Here's Phil Sykes back to center with Dave Taylor. Sykes and Taylor crisscross. Here's Sykes in the Montreal zone. Falls down trying to cut, and the Canadians come back with a 4-on-2. At the middle, here's Momesso into the King zone. Over to Robinson. He shoots, and a save by Janicek. Rebound comes up over the glass into the crowd. 13:09 to go in the first period. No score in the game between the Kings and the Montreal Canadiens, and Bob Janicek facing that time a 4-on-2 break by Montreal.
Defenseman Larry Robinson getting up into the play, top of the right circle. He moved in, and Bob Janicek came out, cut down the angle, and just let the puck hit him in the chest protector, and the Kings were able to clear it to the side. A face-off to the left of Janicek. Unofficially, the Kings have outshot the Montreal Canadiens 5-3 with 13:09 left here in a scoreless first period.
The Kings send out a line combination now of Marcel Dion at center with J.P. Kelly and Lyle Fair on the wing. So apparently Marcel will take double duty tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure Marcel and Nichols will see quite a bit of ice time, depending on, of course, the way the game progresses. The Kings may go with just 3 lines on a regular basis, but with the Wilkes out of the lineup, only 3 centers are dressed: Dion, Nichols, and Smith.
Carbonell wins the draw. Right point, Chelio shooting. Blocked in front. Picked up now by Altour, but he can't hold it. Canadians with it. King zone. Pass along the boards. Broken up by Lyle Fair, and Fair sends it out to center ice. Picked up now by Dion of the red line, but J.P. Kelly forechecking, way offside. Montreal with it, no call as the delayed offside. Now here's Chelios across the King line, drops it back, gets a return pass. Chelios in deep to the left of the King net. He's checked there by Rick Lapointe. His pass up the middle, picked up by Ryan Walter. Walter still with it, gives it to Shell Dahlin, the rookie. Dahlin checked in the corner by J.P. Kelly. Walter with it, pass in front to Carbonell, and he tipped it right toward Janusek, and a quick whistle by Brian Lewis, the referee. Want to send our birthday wishes to Paul Colbert from his family and friends. Paul is watching and viewing tonight. We'll be right back. Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Superstar calls for quick response, accurate assists, and hard shots. That's a winning performance. At Michelin, we've got a lineup of top performers for the vehicle you drive. Like the highly acclaimed XH for American cars, the MX series for imports, the XCH4 for light trucks, and our all-season radial, the XA4. Michelin makes only quality radials because so much is riding on your tires. Check the yellow pages for the Michelin dealer nearest you, and remember, buckle up for safety.
Montreal Canadiens doing a pretty good job at getting into the zone and putting a little pressure on the Kings defense. Just a note, Doug Smith on that whistle headed off towards the Kings dressing room. We'll try and get a report on that.
And now off the draw, the puck is loose in the faceoff circle and taken by Jay Wells. Wells gives it to Tiger Williams. Williams headmans it up the center to Bernie Nichols. Nichols bumped there, but he gets it over to Galley. Galley, Montreal zone. Galley to Tiger Williams. He shoots, and a save by Sotak. Williams with his own rebound knocked away. Picked up by Paul Gay. Here's Gay, left wing side. Montreal zone to the blue line to Wells, and it gets by him back into the King zone. Bob Janusek, King goaltender, plays it as Chris Nyland comes in deep, and he gave it away. Right side, Canadian Stephane Richer behind the King net around the left side. Richer in the slot, shoots, saved by Janusek. Nobody picked up Richer, and he was loose for a high percentage shot. Now Nyland with a shot as he spins at the top of the slot or circle, and a save made by Janusek. But the Kings, Nick, first of all, gave it away in their own end. Then nobody picked up Stephane Richer.
Well, again, miscommunication. Jay Wells and Bob Janusek, and Janusek fed it away from Wells, and the Canadiens were the first team to get a hold of it, and they had a couple of scoring opportunities, Nyland and Richer. Stephane Richer for the Montreal Canadiens, 6'2", 200 pounds, last year in juniors, 120 points in just 57 games.
Face off to the right of Bob Janusek. No score first period. 11:52 to go in the period. And the Kings win the draw. Here's Gary Galley. Galley passing off the boards and cleared it up to center ice. Taken away there by Larry Robinson. He gets bumped by Tiger Williams. Canadians with it. Shot by McPhee and a stick save. Rebound loose in front. McPhee fanned on the bouncing puck. Kings come back. Up to center ice they come with Bernie Nichols. Nichols drives it into the Montreal zone. It's deflected wide and taken by Larry Robinson. Robinson's pass around on the left side with 11:25 to go in the first period. No score. Canadians with it. Puck taken by Claude Lemieux. Drives it into the King zone and back to get it, Gary Galley. Galley behind the net. Flips it off the boards up on the left wing to Tiger Williams. He didn't get it. The puck bounces to the blue line and out to center ice. Right in front of the King bench. Tiger Williams bumped hard there by Claude Lemieux. Canadians control it at center ice. Larry Robinson passes back into his own zone. 11:04 to go. First period, no score. Kings in Montreal, and Mike McPhee sends it into the King zone. Montreal goes for a line change. Kings coming back, right to left. Here is Dion. His pass taken away at center ice by Momesso for Montreal, and he gives it to Chris Chelios. Chelios on the right side. Headmans it up to center ice to Shell Dahlin. Dahlin knocked down by Hawkinson. Puck is picked up by the Canadians at center ice. Pass on the right wing to Ryan Walder. Walder into the King zone to Dahlin. Dahlin in front of Walder. He tipped at it, and Janusek poked it away. And also a good check by Hawkinson. Canadians with it again. Pass in front. Save! Oh, what a save! And Chris Chelios can't believe it. He put his hands up to his head, Nick. He said, I don't believe Bob Janusek made that save. Chelios set up on the right side, and Janusek diving to his left made a save on what looked like a sure Montreal goal.
Well, again, the Canadians putting on the pressure and the defensemen getting involved. Chelios saw a lot of open ice right down the middle. Usually you see some traffic in front, but he seized that opportunity. He thought he bought himself a goal, but a splendid, spectacular save by Bob Janusek.
Face off to the left of Janusek. Guy Carbonneau ready on the draw. Kings not picking up people very well in their own end. Dion in to take the draw against Guy Carbonneau. No score first period. Puck comes over against the right wing boards. Here's Dahlin with a shot and a save by Janusek. He was partially screened. Puck is taken by the Kings, and now it hops up over the glass. Dion had it for a moment, but it came up over the glass into the crowd, and we'll have a face-off. Chris Chelios from Chicago to San Diego to Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
To the NHL, and he was runner-up to Mario Lemieux last year in the Rookie of the Year voting. One of 3 American-born defensemen on the Montreal Canadiens. He and Curvers have been defensive mates their first 2 years in the league.
Chelios played at the University of Wisconsin, and Curvers, the Hobie Baker Award winner as the top collegiate player, played at the University of North Dakota. Puck is in the Montreal zone. Pass in deep by Phil Sykes, goes behind the net. Sykes out of the University of North Dakota. Canadians take it away. Ryan Walder ahead to Guy Carbonneau. Carbonneau at center. Can't hang on to it, but neither can Redmond. Here is Ryan Walder to Carbonneau. Carbonneau, top of the slot. King zone. Spin. Shoots. Deflected. Right side. Chelios with it. He shoots, and a save by Janusek. And the puck taken by the Canadians again. Pass up the middle. Comes out to center ice, and Curvers has to go back and get the pass from Guy Carbonneau. 9:45 left to go in the first period. No score in the game. Canadians have now outshot the Kings 11-6, and there's their 12th shot and a stick save by Janusek. Puck taken by McClellan for the Kings. Up the center ice to Phil Sykes. Sykes drives it into the Montreal zone, and back to get it is Rick Green. Green passes up now to center ice to Bob Gainey, the Montreal captain. Canadians moving left to right. Long pass into the Kings zone. Back to get it is Sergio Momesso, and he bucks Rick Lapointe into the boards hard. Puck is taken by the Kings, though. Dean Kennedy, he gave it away to Bobby Smith. Here's Smith, top of the slot, right side. Ludwig, his shot is blocked. It hit Bob Gainey, his own teammate. Gainey is limping around. He's hurt. Puck is picked up by the Kings. Rick Lapointe off on the right side to Taylor. Gainey checks Taylor, pass ahead to J.P. Kelly, now to Nichols, Montreal zone, now to Kelly. Kelly in deep down the left side, lets it go for Taylor. Taylor against the left wing boards, left point, Rick Lapointe shooting, and it's wide. J.P. Kelly couldn't tip it in. Bob Gainey had to stay out, and he drives it all the way down to the Kings zone. This is going to be no icing as Rick Lapointe gets in to get it. Now he has trouble with it behind the net, gets knocked down, gets help from J.P. Kelly. Kelly's pass to Rick Lapointe. Lapointe up on the right side to Taylor. Taylor to center with Nichols. Here's Taylor into the Montreal zone. Taylor top of the slot, drops it for Nichols. He shoots, and it's wide to the right side. High and wide, and it came off the boards. No score first period. Fast-paced period. 8:21 to go in the period. Here's Nichols, right side. His shot deflects high off the glass. Picked up on the left wing side by the Kings, but it's lost by Paul Gay. Brought out to center ice by Montreal. And Stéphane Richer fires it into the Kings zone. Janusek behind the net, leaves it for Gary Galley. Headman pass up the middle now to Lyle Fair. Nice pass to Gay. Gay right wing. Gay Montreal zone. Gay still with it. Knocked down by Peter Svoboda. Svoboda checked by Fair. Puck is in the Montreal zone. No score first period. 7:53 to go. Pass on the right side now, and Mats Naslund drives it into the Kings zone. Gay pulls down Richer. Oh, no penalty there. I don't know how that's not interference.
Maybe he felt both players were guilty, so he let it go.
Puck comes back now to the Montreal blue line. Now Larry Robinson at center ice. Feeds it over on the left side, and into the Kings zone. Naslund to Richer. Left side to Svoboda. His shot is deflected by Hawkinson. Picked up by Galley. Can't clear it. Held in by Richer. Richer for Montreal. His pass around the boards taken by McClellan on the left wing, and Mack clears it out the center, and he evades a check from Chris Nyland. 7:13 to go first period. No score. Dion tries to steal it. Sykes almost had it at center ice, but Dion would have been offside. Now the Canadians back in their own zone. Ryan Skrudlin, his pass around on the left side, and Svoboda gets knocked down by Phil Sykes. Good check. Canadians with it at center ice, and down the right side the pass to Skrudlin, taken away by the Kings. Back they come. Dion to Sykes. Sykes down the right side. Montreal zone. Sykes backhander is wide to the left side. Rebound off the boards. Penalty coming up against Montreal, I believe. Yes, interference against the Montreal Canadiens. No score. First period. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
The Lasers make their way back to the Forum for a very tough match against MISL powerhouse Chicago Sting. The Sting, formerly champions of both the NASL indoor and outdoor campaign, will be looking to regain the form that made them such a force when they joined up with the MISL a couple of seasons back. This is the Lasers' chance to make a strong statement that they need to be reckoned with this season. Prime Ticket is your network for Laser Soccer as they meet the Sting at the fabulous Forum.
Ryan Walter in the penalty box for interference at 13:15, and the Kings will go on the power play for the first time tonight. The Kings power play checking in at 17th overall, just 12 power play goals in 78 opportunities. Penalty killing for both the Kings and the Canadiens has not been very good in the first month. The Canadiens are 19th in the NHL killing penalties.
No score first period. Face off in the Montreal zone. Marcel Dion on the draw on the King power play. Gets the draw out to Redmond to the left point. Now to Dion. Left wing boards. Back to Redmond. Redmond holds it in on the blue line. Redmond's shot tipped on the way in by Taylor, but stopped by the Canadiens goaltender Sotard. Now Dion to Nichols. His shot deflected into the corner. Picked up by Brian McClellan. McClellan on the right wing. Montreal zone. Up the middle to Redmond. Redmond shoots and just hit wide. Taylor tried to get his stick on it. Here's Dion, or Nichols with it. Nichols into McClellan. McClellan behind the net. Montreal zone. Comes in the left wing corner. Now gives it to Dion. Dion had it roll off his stick, and it is cleared by the Montreal Canadiens, Guy Carbonneau.
Well, the Kings have made some line changes, but on the power play, we see Dion reunited with his line mates from last year, Taylor and McClellan.
Here's Taylor into the Montreal zone. Pass on the right side to Bernie Nichols. Nichols slaps it in deep behind the net. Taylor goes for it there. Rick Green with it. He's checked by Dion. Dion with the puck. Dion against the left wing boards. Out to the blue line to Redmond. Redmond to Dion. Dion left side into Taylor. Taylor in deep. Had trouble getting the pass. Now he has it. Now he's spun around in the corner. Here's Redmond shooting. It hit somebody in front of the net. McClellan got knocked down. Loose puck taken by the Canadiens, but a Montreal player is injured in front of the net.
Craig Ludwig, I believe, he and McClellan were battling for position, and the shot was taken from the top of the left circle, and I believe it hit Ludwig. It never made it to Doug Sotard, and the Kings were pouncing on the rebound. Ludwig, a native of Eagle River, Wisconsin, in his 4th year with the Montreal Canadiens, and he really appears to be in a lot of discomfort now, just getting up on his knees.
No score first period, and we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
This is the Prime Ticket Network, home of the Kings, Lakers, and Lasers, plus nearly 200 other power-packed sports events. Make Prime Ticket a regular viewing habit. Call your local cable operator for details on Prime Ticket.
Ludwig is back up on his skates, and he is skating off to the Montreal bench under his own power, being attended to by the Montreal trainer. We mentioned Doug Smith went off earlier in the period of the Kings dressing room. He is back and has been skating around in the Kings zone while Ludwig has been injured, and Smith will now try and go as he stays out for a face-off deep in the Montreal zone. For the most part, Bob, the Canadiens, and of course they're killing a penalty here, but defensively they're moving the puck well, and they've got some good defensemen that move that puck, and they get involved offensively, as we've seen when the Canadiens have put the pressure on Bob Janusek.
54 seconds left to go in the King power play. No score first period. Kings win the draw in the Montreal zone. Here's Jay Wells. His pass taken away, but Wells tried to hold it in again, but Guy Carbonneau cleared it out to center. Kings with it. Here's Wells at the red line. He gives it to Gary Galley. Galley back over to Wells right in front of the King bench. Now Wells fires it into the Montreal zone, up in the air, gloved by the goaltender Sotard, drops it down for Chris Chelios. Chelios spun around the corner. Sykes takes it away after Tiger Williams spun Chelios around, and a whistle, and we'll have a face-off in the Montreal zone. Kings are home next Wednesday night when the Detroit Red Wings come in. Kings haven't lost to Detroit, and Tiger Williams used to play with the Red Wings. They haven't lost to Detroit in the last 15 straight games at home. 10 wins and 5 ties. That game next Wednesday night. The Detroit Red Wings here, along with John Ogrodnik, Steve Yzerman, and Peter Klima. And there are tickets available for that game, Forum Box Office, and all Ticketmaster outlets. Peter Klima. Right. Puck comes over to the right point, held in there by Gary Galley. And against the boards, we've got a penalty coming up, a check by Tiger Williams.
Interference, I think, as they went to play the puck, and the Canadiens never got a stick on it.
We'll be right back. Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Barbecues and cowboy shoes, guitars and high gear. Now you're talking country. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's are spoken here.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
Now you're talking Stroh's. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's are spoken here.
Dave Tiger Williams is going off for interference as he racked up one of the Montreal Canadiens. Chelios in the boards to the left of Doug Sotard. Chelios, again, was trying to play the puck, and you cannot interfere with a player unless he has just touched the puck, was the last player to touch it. And if you do, you're going to get a penalty. So both clubs are now shy a skater for a few seconds.
About 9 seconds to be exact, and then Montreal will have the power play, so they're in their own zone, just kind of waiting to get the extra attacker on now. Now they come up to center. Here is Chelios. His pass over on the left side, gets it back again, gives it to Mats Naslund. He drives into the King zone. Power play on for Montreal now. Back behind the King net, a pass up the middle by Smith, broken up and cleared by Paul Gay. King penalty killers, Gay and Hawkinson up front with Wells and Galley back. 4:28 to go in the first period. No score in the game. Canadians unofficially with 12 shots, the Kings with 7. Up to center, here's Bobby Smith. Down the right side, drops it to the right point to Ryan Walter. Walter gives it down the right side to Smith. Smith in the Kings zone. Smith's pass in deep now to Naslund. Back to Smith. Smith in the circle over on the left side to Curvers. He shoots and it's tipped up over the net off the glass. Puck is back behind the King net. Canadians still with it. Power play for another minute. Here's Curvers, top of the slot. He waits. He passes on the right side to Chelios. Chelios, his pass into the slot, tipped by Naslund and kicked by Hawkinson. He had lost his stick, and Hawkinson must have played a little soccer back in Sweden because he kicked the puck all the way back into the Montreal zone. Good play by the Hawk. Now the Canadians bring it in. It's broken up by Redmond, who scoops it back out to center. 34 seconds to go in the King penalty. No score first period. On the right side, Bobby Smith into the King zone. His pass left side to Naslund. To Curvers. Right side, Chelios. Lot of room. He shoots wide to the right side. Rebound over to Sykes. Sykes on the right wing. Sykes clears it out to center and back into the Montreal zone.
Good pressure by the forwards for the Kings, killing this penalty. They have not allowed the Canadians to get that power play set up inside the Kings blue line.
10 seconds left to go in the King penalty to Tiger Williams. Canadians start back out to center ice. There's no score. Here's Stefan Richer, 19-year-old rookie. He tried to give it to Shell Dahlin, the rookie out of Sweden. He didn't get it. Kings come back. Out of the penalty box is Tiger Williams. Here's Doug Smith. Backhander is tipped away by the goaltender Sotard. Back behind the Montreal net, Tiger Williams tried to dig it out to Doug Smith. Smith rolled it out in front for the Canadians intercept. Back comes Shell Dahlin. Dahlin to center. His pass to the King line bounces to Engblom. Engblom sends it back to center ice, taken away by Dahlin. Dahlin down the right side, trying to get around Engblom. Can't do it. Dahlin still with it. Passes in deep to Momesso. Momesso behind the net. Comes around the left side. Still with it now. Fanned on his pass. Now Janusek pokes it away. Taken by Richer. A lot of young rookies out there for the Canadians right now. 3 of them up front. Puck is picked up by the Kings, and Brian McClellan clears it ahead. Was a 3-on-2. Now it's a 2-on-2. Here's Redmond across the line, and the Kings go offside at the Montreal blue line. 2:23 left to go in the first period. No score in the game, and this game is coming to you live from the fabulous Forum.
Upcoming Kings, Lakers, and Lasers events on Prime Ticket. Tomorrow night, the Lasers and Chicago. Thursday night, the Lakers meet Portland. Friday night, the Lasers take on Cleveland. Saturday night, the Kings meet Pittsburgh. And Sunday, November 17th, it's the Lakers and the New Jersey Nets. Be with us for all of them here on Prime Ticket.
Of the Montreal Canadiens, Kings have Bernie Nichols out at center. The right wing is Dave Taylor. Over on the left side, Phil Sykes.
Quite a different first period tonight, Bob, as compared with that Edmonton game. The Kings limited to just 7 shots and 3 or 4 of those in the first 4 minutes of this period. The other night against Edmonton, a club record 25 shots in the first 20 minutes.
Kings send it into the Montreal zone, broken up there by Craig Ludwig, who was shaken up earlier. He is back in action. Now Dave Taylor. Taylor sends it down into the Montreal zone. It is picked up there by Mike McPhee. He's bumped in the right wing corner by Bernie Nichols. Nichols digs it out. Nichols, Montreal zone, right circle. Nichols tried to give it to Sykes, tipped away. Sykes now holds it in, but it's intercepted by Mike McPhee. He clears it up to Brian Scrudland at center. Scrudland is checked against the boards by Dean Kennedy. With 1:55 to go in the first period, the puck is whistled dead.
Well, Craig Ludwig back after getting injured, and he met Dave Taylor right at the blue line. The Canadiens defenseman standing up, and that is something the Kings must improve on as the season goes by. Taylor upset with Ludwig, perhaps feeling that Ludwig got an elbow or a stick up high as he met the Kings captain right at the blue line.
Taylor caused a stir here the other night when he decked Wayne Gretzky, not with a hard punch. Gretzky acted it out for all it was worth. And an article in the Edmonton Journal by Mark Horton really blasted Edmonton for coming back and taking a cheap shot at Taylor later on. He said it was disgraceful to the Edmonton Oilers Hockey Club, and that's in an Edmonton newspaper.
The Oilers have won 2 straight Stanley Cups, and they still rip the team up there.
You think that's not going to be something when the Kings go up to Edmonton for the first time? Canadians brought it in the Kings zone, but a pass comes back out to center ice with 1:41 left to go in the first period. No score in the game. Puck is taken now by the Kings at center ice. Here's Rick Lapointe. His pass into the Montreal zone, broken up, cleared back to center, taken by Phil Sykes. He drives it in, but Nichols had not cleared the zone yet as he tried to get onside. So Bernie is offside on the play.
Again, Bob, we mentioned defensemen meeting the opposition at the blue line, standing them up. Paul Gay now coming out along with Smith and Tiger Williams. Paul Gay was acquired 2 days after the season started. Will be chatting with us in just a few moments live downstairs between periods. Gay, member of the U.S. Olympic team back in 1984. But when you stand up at the blue line, that's an indication that your forwards are helping out. That's what allows the defenseman to come up and make that play.
Now the King blue line, Gary Galley sends it up to center to Paul Gay. Gay drives it into the Montreal zone. Puck is behind the net. Sotard, the goaltender, wraps it out to the right point, and Gary Galley didn't hold it in. Came out to center. 1:10 left to go here in the first period. No score. Jay Wells with it right in front of the King bench. Wells flips it up in the air, down into the Montreal zone. It's behind the net. The goaltender Sotard gave it away to Tiger Williams. Williams pass in front, and Doug Smith trying to tip it in, and just tipped it wide to the left side. Canadians clear it to center. Less than a minute to go in the first period. Puck taken away by Jay Wells. Wells pass right wing side to Tiger Williams. Williams out to the right point to Galley. Galley with 45 seconds to go in the first period gives it to Paul Gay. Gay checked on the right side by Rick Green, and the puck whistled dead there, and look out, Tiger Williams comes in from behind. Ryan Walder also there for the Canadians, and they start to shove at each other. Tiger almost gets knocked down. Doug Smith being separated by linesman Jim Christensen from the Canadians' Craig Ludwig. I don't think that's going to go any further. We'll get no penalties out of that. 42 seconds left to go here in the first period. Along the boards, Rick Green. Then as he throws the puck, Tiger Williams came in and pushed Guy Carbonneau into Green, and then Williams and Carbonneau pushed, and then Ryan Walder came in. Walder number 11, and then Craig Ludwig number 17 of Montreal, and Doug Smith 23 for the Kings got into a little shoving match, but nothing of any major proportion. Marcel Dion out now to take the draw. Dion got his first goal since October 20th the other night against the Edmonton Oilers. He's had 6 points in the last 6 games for Marcel. Needs 6 goals for 500 goals in a King uniform. And on the face-off, Dion with it in the slot, and his pass rolled off his stick. Canadians trying to clear it, and it comes out to the left point. Held in by Engblom, but now taken away by Montreal. Cleared up to center ice by Bobby Smith. Engblom takes it, drives it right back into the Montreal zone with 25 seconds left to go now in the first period. No score in this game. Pass up on the right side to Nyland. He has it taken away by Engblom. Loose puck at center ice right in front of the King bench. McClellan's pass to the Montreal line broken up by Rick Green. 12 seconds to go in the first period. Green flips it high in the air in the King zone, broken up by Engblom. 7 seconds left to go in a scoreless first period. Puck comes back out in front of the Montreal bench where McClellan had it. 1 second to go, and that is the end of the first period of play here at the fabulous Forum. No scoring in the first period. King's best chance was down in the Montreal zone when Tiger Williams got a pretty good shot at Doug Sotard, but Sotard made the stop. And downstairs, Nick will be talking with former Olympic hockey player Paul Gay out of Providence College. No score at the end of one. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
The world champion Lakers take to the Forum hardwood as the Portland Trail Blazers come in for a hot night of action here on Prime Ticket. Coach Jack Ramsey's Blazers have played some of their best hoop against the Lakers in recent years, but Pat Riley's group has countered with some magnificent outings of their own. Get set in front of your set as the Lakers battle the Blazers. It's Pacific Division mayhem right here on the Prime Ticket Television Network. Once again, Prime Ticket and SC team up for exciting collegiate football entertainment. This week, the Trojans pit their up-and-down season against Joe Cap's California Bears, whose strong offense has weakened a bit in their last 2 games. The Trojans are still out for a bowl bid, and a win over Cal would greatly enhance their cause. See it all from Berkeley as Prime Ticket heats up with SC and California.
This is today's Chevrolet, and this is today's Chevrolet. This Chevrolet is specially modified for the International Race of Champions. This is the new Camaro IROC Z28 built for you.
Chevrolet has powered more winners than anyone in American racing history.
And that helped us build this Chevrolet. World champions drive this Camaro, but the Camaro IROC Z28 makes you feel like a champion.
Drive today's Chevy, live today's Chevy. When you're off on a weekend and your wife is bringing a few odds and ends, send Avis an SOS. When you're going to a charity ball and your car looks like a charity case, send Avis an SOS. When you've got to get to work and you can't get your car to work, Avis will answer your cry of distress with the right car right in your neighborhood. Avis's free day weekend. Rent 3 days for the price of 2.
We're back here at the fabulous Forum. We have completed 20 minutes of hockey. No score between the Montreal Canadiens and the Los Angeles Kings. And just after the season started this year, the Los Angeles Kings made a deal with the Philadelphia Flyers. And the Kings received right winger Paul Gay in exchange for minor league forward Steve Seguin. And Paul has joined us for a few moments here between periods. Paul, that first period, very fast-paced. The Montreal Canadiens playing like the Canadiens of old, up and down, some good offensive chances for both the Canadiens and the Los Angeles Kings. And in the 1 month you've been in Los Angeles, you've shown some pretty good skating speed. Is this the type of game that you like to be involved in?
Oh, definitely. I think that I'm a fairly good skater out there, and I like to use my skating ability to my advantage. I like to play a bump-and-run game, too. So what I try and do is really incorporate a skating and a hitting game.
You, along with Doug Smith, your center the last couple of games, and Tiger Williams, really creating some opportunities offensively. I think more out of the fact that you're working very hard out there.
Oh, yes. We're all working very hard out there. It's a little frustrating right now because we're not converting the chances that we're getting. You have to be happy that you are getting opportunities, but the idea is to put them in the net.
Paul, you started your NHL career with the Philadelphia Flyers. You were in their minor league system last year for most of the season, started out there this year. You look at this trade as like a new lease on your NHL life?
Oh, definitely. I think that every hockey player's dream is to play in the National Hockey League, so whenever you do get that opportunity, naturally you got to be happy about it.
And you've got to be happy about your situation here. You're playing on a regular basis and playing some on the penalty killing situations. Have you done this before?
Yes, in college I played on the shorthanded units, and with the Olympic team I played with the man short and the power play. So I have a lot of confidence in my ability to play in the shorthanded situations, and I'm just happy that Pat's using me in that capacity.
Let's talk about the Olympic experience off the '84 U.S. team. What did you get out of that has really carried over as you start your NHL career?
Oh, I think just the opportunity to play against all the great players in the world, all the Russians, the Czechoslovakians, the Canadian players. It was just a fantastic opportunity, and I think it's something that I'll never forget.
Okay, Paul, I know you're from Providence, and you played high school hockey with Brian Lawton, the first pick overall a few years back. Have you talked to Brian in the off-season the last couple of years?
Oh, definitely. I see him quite a bit in the off-season, working at different hockey schools. Brian's a very good hockey player. He had a rough year last year, and it was unfortunate because a lot of people seem to have lost faith in him. But I'm sure that over the years you're definitely going to see a lot of Brian Lawton.
Okay, let's talk about the Kings. They're at home for their longest homestand of the season, and some clubs coming in after tonight that had worse records than the Kings last year. The guys must be looking forward to picking up some ground in the Smythe Division.
Oh, definitely. Whenever you get a home stand like that, you're trying to, put together as many wins as you can, get as many points as you possibly can, because when you go on the road, it's a little more difficult. Everybody plays better in their own building, so you have to take advantage of it when you're in your own building.
Paul Gay, right winger with the Los Angeles Kings, has been our guest between periods. And the Montreal Canadiens in town tonight, and they have a right winger who is the Rookie of the Month for October, Kjell Dahlin out of Sweden. He had 6 goals and 6 assists for 12 points, the Rookie of the Month in the National Hockey League. We are scoreless between periods 1 and 2, Montreal and the Kings. We'll be back with more. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
They call them monuments. And they've been around for a long, long time. Well, to me, they're like sentinels, standing guard, watching over the West. Kind of like Great Western Savings. Great Western's been looking out for folks and their money for nearly 100 years. And nowadays, the Great Western family has over $24 billion in assets, and they're federally insured. So, you know your money is real safe and sound. Great Western Savings. Standing tall, here to stay. marching over the West for a long time to come.
Rise and shine, cast your line, catch the limit here. Now you're talking fishing, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is smoking here.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
Now you're talking Stroh's, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is smoking here.
Los Angeles Lasers Indoor Soccer, the sport of the future.
Lasers Indoor Soccer opening night, Sunday, November 10th, 6 p.m. Lasers notebooks for the first 2,000 youth under 17. The Forum, Sunday, November 10th, 6 p.m.
And back once again at the Forum, where the Los Angeles Kings and the Montreal Canadiens skated the first period to a scoreless deadlock. First period certainly not like the one that we saw out here the other night with the Edmonton Oilers. The chances were not nearly as frequent as each team had last week, although Chris Chelios certainly had a great chance that Bob Janicek stopped him on early in the first period of play. Well, you know, specialization has certainly become more and more a part of coaching in all sports, and certainly hockey is no exception, especially with goaltenders coaches.
Wing to Savard, trying to get back as quick a point. Savard shoots and a glove save. Oh, what a beauty by Darren Elliott.
Toughest job in hockey? That's an easy one. In fact, goaltending is probably the toughest position in all of sport. A great goalie save can lift the team. And when the goalie makes a mistake, everyone in the arena knows about it. During the last 5 years, the Kings have tried nearly a dozen men in goal, hoping to find the right one to do the job. This season, they've even added a full-time goaltending coach. Phil Meir knows a thing or two about stopping pucks. He spent 14 years in the NHL and believes that goaltending coaches are long overdue.
Goalie coaches, I think, are definitely coming in, and there's definitely a lot of room for that. I can vouch for myself, playing 16 years professional hockey, and up until I played in Philadelphia when I was 31 years old. I never got any type of instructional coaches or anybody to help my game at any time. I would simply watch the other people, try to pick up the thing here and there, and try to pick up anything you can get out of a book or out of an old goaltender you can talk to, and I would just simply play the game on determination and desire, and you know, stay on your feet, control your rebounds type of career. Many times you played a great game and you'd have no feedback. You just did your job. All of a sudden you played a poor game, and you'd cringe at the approach of the coach, because you knew that the only time they would approach you is when you were playing poorly. And you knew you'd see him coming on the ice, and you just look at him sideways and say, uh-oh, here it comes now. Don't get me wrong, I think I had a good career. I'm very proud of what I've achieved, but I've achieved it, you know, the hard way, you might say. And I personally feel that had I had someone to help me out when I was younger, I would have reached higher levels. I pay a lot of importance to the quality of the goals as opposed to the number of goals, because I started this when I played in St. Louis, and I was giving up 5 goals a game and kept looking at the newspaper at my goals against average, and didn't really like it, and it wasn't a very good incentive for me, and I decided to get an incentive in saying I'm going to rate the goals. And when I came to Los Angeles here, I knew that we were going to give 4 goals or better against. And I really pay a lot of importance to this. And we rate the goals, the goaltender will rate them, I will rate them, and the other coaches will rate them. And I think we come up with a very good indication of how good the goal was. If the goalkeeper is always reliable, I mean, you're going to make mistakes and you're going to have bad goals here and there. But on a consistent basis, if your goalkeeper gives up good quality goals, your team play is going to pick up because they'll have more confidence, they'll take more chances, getting more offense, and everything kind of snowballs. And conversely, if your goalkeeper constantly gives a poor goal, then it will have an adverse effect where your team then will have a lack of confidence in the goalkeeper, will play more tentatively, and therefore will score less goals and have less offensive opportunities. So I think that more so in our position anyway, that the quality of the goals is more important from a goaltender standpoint than the number of goals he gives up.
Phil Meir hoping his experience will help Kings goaltending.
Interesting man, Phil Meir. You know, it's also interesting that it took so long for goaltenders coach to come into vogue in the National Hockey League. Well, this was a big day in the history of the National Hockey League for one big National Hockey League record. The fastest goal from the start of a period scored by the late Claude Provost in 1957. Coming up, the second Kings in Montreal. No score. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The world champion Lakers take to the Forum Hardwood as the Portland Trail Blazers come in for a hot night of action here on Prime Ticket. Coach Jack Ramsey's Blazers have played some of their best hoop against the Lakers in recent years, but Pat Riley's group has countered with some magnificent outings of their own. Get set in front of your set as the Lakers battle the Blazers. It's Pacific Division mayhem right here on the Prime Ticket Television Network. It'll be hockey night at the Forum when the Kings meet Mario Lemieux and the Pittsburgh Penguins as Prime Ticket continues its exclusive coverage of Kings hockey. Although the Penguins were a drastically improved club last season, the Kings still managed to beat them all 3 times they took to the ice. That'll give former LA coach Bob Berry extra incentive when he brings his team to the Forum. Don't miss the Kings and the Pittsburgh Penguins exclusively on the Prime Ticket Television Network.
Chevy S10 Blazer. Now available at low 8.8% financing. That's an average savings of $1,200. See your Southern California Chevrolet dealer.
The Lasers make their way back to the Forum for a very tough match against MISL powerhouse Chicago Sting. The Sting, formerly champions of both the NASL indoor and outdoor campaign, will be looking to regain the form that made them such a force when they joined up with the MISL a couple of seasons back. This is the Lasers' chance to make a strong statement that they need to be reckoned with this season. Prime Ticket is your network for Laser Soccer as they meet the Sting at the fabulous Forum.
No score at the end of the first 20 minutes of play. The Los Angeles Kings and the Montreal Canadiens here at the Forum. A lot of other action around the National Hockey League tonight. Philadelphia Flyers knocked off Boston 5-3. The Islanders edged New Jersey 3-2. It was Pittsburgh over Chicago 3-1. Toronto and St. Louis played to a 2-2 tie tonight. Hartford knocked off Quebec 4-3, and Minnesota defeated the New York Rangers 4-3. Calgary beat Washington 5-4, and the Kings got a little bit of help in the Smythe Division tonight when Vancouver knocked off Winnipeg by a score of 7-2. And we're back once again, visiting with injured Kings defenseman Mark Hardy. Mark, what'd you think of the first period of play?
Well, it started off very, very fast, and then it seemed like it got into some close checking out there. I think both teams are feeling each other out because they haven't seen one another this year. So the close checking kind of seemed to have slowed down the pace. So perhaps next period will be a little faster.
Does that get to be kind of a frustrating thing when you get into that slow-paced, tight-checking type of game? Is it tough to keep some momentum going?
Well, it keeps the goals against down, but...
Defensemen love that, folks.
Defensemen really love that. We love that. So it's a little frustrating for the forwards, but the close checking and keeping the puck away from the net, there weren't too many shots. Right. So it's a little frustrating for the forwards, but the defensemen love it.
Okay, Mark, we will check back with you again a little bit later on this evening. The Los Angeles Kings and the Montreal Canadiens, after a tight checking first period of play,
are tied and 0-0. A lot of action yet to come here on Prime Ticket tonight as the Kings and Canadiens go into the second period. Let's go back up now to Bob and Nick.
We are scoreless. The Kings back out on the ice. And Mike Murphy, assistant coach of the Los Angeles Kings, is standing by down on ice level. Mike, in that first period, I thought the Canadiens inside their own blue line moved the puck well. They did not allow the Kings to get that sustained pressure on Doug Sotard. Your view on the Kings play inside their blue line? It seemed a couple of times Janusek a little miscommunication with his defenseman and some players running around out there.
Well, Nick and Bob, I thought that Bob Janusek was the difference in the period. He made an outstanding save on Chelios. He made 3 or 4 big saves for us, and that turned the tide. So that the things we haven't been getting in the past, that big save, we've gotten that period. And we've come out of a period right now that we probably should be down a goal, that we're even. So we're a little bit blessed tonight, and we're looking for a better second and an improved third. And if we can get that, then we're definitely going to get our chances to win this game.
Assistant coach Mike Murphy talking about that big save in particular on Chelios. The statistics through the first period, Kings and the Canadiens out shooting Los Angeles 12-8. The face-offs, the Kings won 13 of 21. 2 minor penalties to the Kings for 4 minutes and 1 penalty to the Canadiens. In the power play, neither team has scored. The Canadiens with Doug Sotard playing in just his 3rd game, setting up and will defend to our right here in the second period. Again, Sotard has a personal 12-game unbeaten string against the Los Angeles club. And Bob Janusek, his 4th straight start for the Kings. And he mentioned, Mike Murphy did, about Janusek. He thought he was the difference in that first period, and certainly Chris Chelios thinks that. A diving, sprawling save to his left with the glove as Chelios had more than half the net to shoot at, but Janusek came up with the save. Bernie Nichols standing out at center ice, along with the referee getting set for the face-off. The Kings will be moving from left to right as Bob Miller describes second period action.
In that first period, 3 Kings had 2 shots on goal, Dion, Williams, and Smith, and the leader individually in shots for Montreal was Chris Chelios. And as Nick said, Janusek just made a fantastic save to keep the Kings from falling behind in this game. Second period underway, both teams at full strength, and the Canadiens with it. Rick Green on the left side. A couple of years ago, he had an ankle injury, and a tackle by Ryan Walder at the blue line as he pulled down Redmond right in front of the referee, Brian Lewis, and he let it go. Puck is in the Kings zone against the left wing boards. Chased down there by Ryan Walder. He pokes it into the corner. Shell Dahlin is there. Walder with it again for Montreal. Now the pass up the middle taken away by Dave Taylor. Taylor comes back. He's got Sykes on his left side. Here's Redmond down the right side. Taylor's pass broken up and poke checked away from Taylor and Sykes. And the Canadiens with it back in their own zone. Now Rick Green on the left side. His pass held into the right side by Redmond. Redmond had it taken away by Green. Green gives it up to Larry Robinson. Robinson at center. Passes ahead and it's slapped down into the Kings zone. In to get it now is Redmond. Redmond passes around the boards over the right side. Larry Robinson with it for Montreal. Tried to center it. Broken up by the Kings. Picked up now by Nichols. Nichols up the center. Gives it to Taylor. Here's Taylor. No score. Second period. Taylor's pass deflected down into the Montreal zone. Taken by Guy Carbonneau. Gives it to Larry Robinson. Robinson over on the right side. Now up to center ice. Kings break it up there. Second period just underway. Dion ahead, and Hawkinson couldn't hang on to it. Tipped away. Taken by Carbonneau, and his shot from the right side is blocked by Jay Wells. Carbonneau with it again. Right side. Kings zone. Passes in deep. Pass up the middle. Broken up by the Kings. Nice pass by Hawkinson, or a nice pass by McClellan to Hawkinson. Now over to Galley. Galley fakes a shot, moves in, and the puck rolled away from him. Galley with a nice fake and a penalty coming up against Montreal. Holding is going to be the call, and the Kings will go on the power play. No score, second period. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Playing hockey like a superstar calls for quick response, accurate assists, and hard shots. That's a winning performance. At Michelin, we've got a lineup of top performers for the vehicle you drive. Like the highly acclaimed XH for American cars, the MX series for imports, the XCH4 for light trucks, and our all-season radial, the XA4. Michelin makes only quality radials because so much is riding on your tires. Check the yellow pages for the Michelin dealer nearest you, and remember, buckle up for safety.
Tom Curvers, defenseman, holding Gary Galley at 132. Galley faked the shot, moved in closer, lost the puck, but he was dumped to the ice by the second-year defenseman, and the Kings go on the power play. Second time tonight they've had the man advantage. We're scoreless early in the second, 18:28 left to play.
Kings 12 out of 79 up to date on the power play this year, so they are struggling. Brian McClellan's the leader with 4 goals. Face off of the Montreal zone. Dion chases it, left wing boards. Dion still with it. Dion with Carbonneau in front of him, spins around. Dion in the circle, left side. No other movement. Now pass over to Nichols on the right side. Nichols takes it off the boards. His shot deflected on the way in by Gainey. Good defensive forward, the Montreal captain. Puck is dug out by Taylor. Now off the boards, taken away by Bob Gainey. And Gainey brings it up to center ice. Here's Gainey at the red line, takes his time, still has it, passes back to his own blue line, and now it is slapped all the way down into the King zone by Rick Green. 1:27 left to go on the King power play. No score, second period. Kings moving left to right. Pass goes up to Dion. He gives it back to Redmond. It's tipped away from him. Canadians with it. Left side, Svoboda, or Naslund shooting, and a save made by the King goaltender, Bobby Janasek, and now Janasek behind the net gives it over to Bernie Nichols. Redmond lost it just outside the blue line of the Kings. Now Nichols gives it to Taylor down the right side. Taylor in deep, checked by Ludwig, hard into the boards. Pass comes around to McClellan, left side, he gives it into Dion. Dion over to Taylor. Taylor behind the net, Dion gets knocked down. Taylor's pass out to Redmond, left side. Redmond's pass over to Dion. Dion comes to the top of the slot. He shoots wide to the right side. Rebound taken by Bernie Nichols to the right point. Nichols to Dion, he shoots, and a save made by Sotard. Taylor with it, into the right wing corner, gives it to McClellan. Here's Mack on the power play. Up the middle, Nichols shoots, save in the glove of Sotard, and he hangs on for the face-off.
And a lot of activity in front of goaltender Doug Sotard. Marcel Dion was camped in front of the goal crease, and he was trying to talk to McClellan and tell him to drive for the net, but Mack opted to drop it top of the slot to Nichols, and he took the drive with Taylor and Dion in front. Sotard gloves it and holds on for the face-off. The Kings doing what they do best on the power play when it's going well, moving that puck along the boards and waiting for that open man.
Doug Sotard, a number 2 pick by the New York Rangers back in 1975. Spent 5 years in the Rangers organization. Was traded to Winnipeg in September of '81. Traded to Montreal in October of '84 for Mark Holden. Face off to the right of Doug Sotard. Kings on the power play for another 35 seconds. We have no score in this game. Second period with 17:03 to go in the period. And on the draw, Smith to Galley. Galley had trouble with it. Now the Canadians take it away, and Chris Chelios clears it down into the Kings zone. Brian Engblom back to get it. Engblom and Galley are out at the points. Doug Smith is up front. He's got Tiger Williams on the left, and Sykes moving over to the right wing on this power play. Here comes Galley across the line. He's got 6 goals on the year, but he can't hold it. Gainey took it away. He lost it to Tiger Williams, and it's poked away from Williams back out to center. Gainey with it, gives it back at the King blue line to Engblom and gets it back, but now only 6 seconds to go on the power play. Here's a pass to Sykes, left wing. Sykes cutting in. He shoots, and a save by Sotard. Rebound, Doug Smith. He is checked and out of the penalty box. The Canadians, and a pass up to center ice eludes the Montreal Canadiens' Tom Kerbers, and the puck taken now by the Kings' Brian Engblom back in his own zone. His pass taken away by Sergio Momesso down the right side. King zone, goes behind the net, rolls it out in front and into the net off the goaltender Janasek. Sergio Momesso going behind the net, and I believe he was trying to pass out in front. It hit the skate of Janasek and went into the net, and the Montreal Canadiens lead 1-0.
Well, Bob Janasek was anticipating that centering pass from Momesso. But what happened, Janasek started his move a bit too quick, and it went right off the stick, the shaft of the stick of Janasek, and then between his legs into the net. The game's first goal at 3:50. Sergio Momesso, M-O-M-E-S-S-O, his 4th goal of the season. Going right off Bob Janasek. 1-0 Montreal.
Now the Kings with it down the right side. Lyle Fair shoots, and a save by the goaltender Sotard. Puck comes in deep in the right side. Kicked into the corner by Kennedy. And now taken by the Kings' Lyle Fair. Fair in the corner. Montreal zone. Kings down 1-0. Fair gets help there from Hawkinson. Puck comes loose. Taken by Craig Ludwig of Montreal. He clears it off the glass, but not out. Picked up by Rick Green. He slaps it around. Dean Kennedy pinches in. Tries to hold it in, but he can't. And it comes out to center ice, and J.P. Kelly with it. Kelly at center ice gives it to Rick Lapointe. Lapointe to Fair, tips it into the Montreal zone, taken away by Ludwig. He clears it back out to center, picked up by Mike McPhee for Montreal. His pass to Bobby Smith. Smith sends it into the King zone. J.P. Kelly in to get it. Kelly behind the King net, gives it to Lyle Fair. Fair out of Michigan State University in the King zone. The rookie gives it behind the net to Dean Kennedy. Kings are down 1-0. Kennedy drops a reverse pass off to Rick Lapointe. Kings moving left to right. Lapointe to Fair. Fair in the right wing. And at center ice, no penalty. Hawkinson was pulled down by Mike McPhee. No penalty called. Puck taken by the Canadiens in their own zone. 14:57 to go, second period. 1-0 Montreal. Puck is back behind the King net, taken there by Bernie Nichols. Nichols starts back out. His pass off the boards out to center. Picked up by the Canadiens. Peter Svoboda out of Czechoslovakia back at his own blue line. Gives it to Larry Robinson. Now up on the right side to Nyland. Drops it for Mats Naslund. Naslund across the line, and he just got checked enough as he tried to split the defense. Puck is held in by Nyland and Naslund, and a penalty coming up against Bernie Nichols. The Canadiens go on the power play with a 1-0 lead. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Teeing it up at the Desert Inn Country Club and Spa in fabulous Las Vegas is more than just playing golf on one of the nation's finest courses. It's experiencing the luxury of a new world-class spa. It's feeling the elegance of impeccably appointed guest rooms. It's tasting the exotic cuisines of faraway places. It's smashing a tennis ball or soaking in the warm Nevada sunshine. It's knowing you've arrived.
You've arrived at the Desert Inn.
Bernie Nichols is getting 2 minutes for elbowing Mats Naslund. Naslund, who just missed splitting the defense, took a left elbow from Nichols as Bernie pinned the Swede up against the boards. So the Canadiens, who have a 1-0 lead thanks to the unassisted goal by Mamesso, his fourth just moments ago at 3:50, have the power play. Mats Naslund last year led the club in goals with 42. This is his fourth year in the NHL.
Face off to the left of Bob Janusek at the top of the circle. Doug Smith will take the draw against Ryan Walder of Montreal. Walder wins the draw. Chelios at the left point. Sends it over on the right side to Shell Dahlin. Dahlin in the King zone. Up the middle to Larry Robinson. He shoots. It's tipped just wide. Puck is picked up and slapped around the boards and out to center ice. Kings have a 2-on-2. Wells gives it to Smith. Smith across the line. Shoots from the left side, and it's deflected up into the crowd by Larry Robinson. Doug Smith on the left side getting a shot that Larry Robinson deflects. So a face-off now in the Montreal zone with 1:44 left to go, and Bernie Nichols penalty.
He's talking to assistant coach Mike Murphy before the game about Doug Smith. They're very pleased with Doug Smith's progress. They feel that he's doing a little better job inside his own blue line. Of course, many young centers, especially when they break into the NHL at age 18 and 19, are deficient in the defensive aspects of the game, but they're happy with the fact that Smith is showing some signs of improvement in that area this year.
Face-off is taken by the Kings at the Montreal blue line, but the pass comes back out to center ice. Now slapped back down in, and Chris Chelios back to get it. Back behind the net, passes up on the right side now as the Canadiens' Bobby Smith brings it up to center. Passes over to Chelios. Chelios across the line down the right side. He shoots, and a glove save by Janusek, and he hangs on for the face-off. I'd like to wish a happy birthday to my wife Judy tonight, and also to John Fitzmaurice working down in the video room. Happy birthday, Judy and John.
Again, Chris Chelios getting a scoring opportunity. He's had 4 shots on goal. The Canadiens as a team have 15. Bob Janusek coming up with his 4th stop on the young defenseman who moved in from the base of the right circle. Again, we're seeing the Montreal defensemen getting involved offensively. They've got some good ones back there. They've got good size, good mobility, and they all handle the puck well.
We didn't hear our mention of it in the pregame show. Jim Fox out for a couple of weeks with a disc injury. That adds to the injuries, of course, to Glenn Curry and Mark Hardy. Kings start out to center now, trailing 1-0. Here's Dion, drives into the Montreal zone, rebound toward the net, poked up over the glass into the crowd by goaltender Doug Sotart. New coach behind the bench in Montreal this year, and he was really a guy that not many people knew about in Montreal last year, Jean Perron.
I think the announcement by Jacques Lemaire in the summer that he was going to quit after a great season last year took a lot of people by surprise, but Jean is behind the bench. His club's struggling a little bit in the early going at 5-6-2, and And they come into tonight's action tied with Hartford for 4th place in the Adams. They won the Adams division last year under Jacques Lemaire.
41 wins last year and 94 points for Montreal. What a turnover, Nick, when you look down that roster, as we said earlier, just a lot of names that you aren't familiar with. For years with Montreal, you didn't even have to look at their roster because the names never changed. Face-off now in the Montreal zone. Kings are down 1-0. Doug Smith on the draw, but the Canadiens have it. Larry Robinson drops it off to Chris Chelios. Now up to rookie Stéphane Richer. His pass out to center, taken away by Doug Smith. He plays the boards and sends it right back behind the Montreal net. 13:28 to go, second period. Bob Miller with Nick Nixon. Hope you're enjoying the game tonight on KLAC and the Prime Ticket Television Network. We'll be on the air Wednesday night on radio only against Detroit, and next Saturday, radio and television against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Puck is back at the King blue line. Gary Galley gives it to Wells. Wells with a bouncing puck, drives it off the back of the linesman, Swede Knox. Knox is all right. Kings with it. Across the line, Doug Smith into the Montreal zone. Smith tried to pass up the middle. Sykes goes for it, didn't get it. Canadiens with it now in their own zone. Here's Chris Chelios. Chelios comes around the right side with 22 seconds left to go in the penalty to Bernie Nichols. Now Mats Naslund drives it down into the King zone. Puck is picked up by Bobby Smith. Left wing corner, out to the blue line. Left point, taken there by the Canadiens, and a pass along by Larry Robinson, deflected off a skate out to center ice, but Robinson hustled back to beat Paul Gay to it. Gay and Hawkinson up front for the Kings. 1 second to go on the penalty, and the Kings are back at full strength. Canadiens with it. Bobby Smith down the left side. His pass in front, and a stop rebound score by Mats Naslund on the rebound. The rebound was right out in front of Janusek, and he couldn't get to it before Mats Naslund did. And Naslund, the Canadiens' leading scorer, flipped it up over the Kings goaltender Janusek, and the Canadiens lead 2-0.
Well, the rangy Bobby Smith centered the puck in front. It went off the back of Jay Wells' leg, and then Janusek tried to reach for it. Jay Wells lost his balance as he was trying to push Naslund away from in front, but Naslund stayed on the skates, picked up a loose puck, and just flipped it in. 7:36, 2-0 Montreal, and for Naslund, a team-high 11 goals.
Now Dion across the line. His shot deflected wide. Puck is picked up by Mike McPhee. Checked behind the net by Lyle Fair. Montreal zone. Dion digs it out. He's hip checked there, and the Canadiens pick it up. And Claude Lemieux brings it to center with a 3-on-2. Dion hustling back, and across the blue line, the puck is picked up by the Kings' Lyle Fair. Fair up to center. Fair flipped it ahead to the blue line, but the Kings would have been offside. Fair is dragged down, and while he's on the ice, he backhands it into the Montreal zone. Naslund from Smith and Stéphane Richer, and the Canadiens with a 2-0 lead. We were scoreless at the end of one. Puck is dug out by Montreal and cleared out to center ice. Chased down by the Kings. McClellan back in the King zone to Redmond. Redmond back to McClellan at center ice. Naslund takes it away. Naslund to Claude Lemieux. Lemieux right side pass back to Naslund, and a save by Janusek. And a loose puck, but the whistle blew. But what a save by Janusek on the shot by Naslund, and now Claude Lemieux comes in to push it. One of the Kings, and that is broken up quickly. 11:23 to go in the second period. 2-0 Montreal, and this game is coming to you live from the fabulous Forum.
Remember, your source for all Forum events is Ticketmaster. To charge tickets, just call area code 213-480-3232 or 714-740-2000. That's Ticketmaster for all Forum events.
Well, Mats Naslund, who just made it 2-0, almost made it 3-0 as he took a return pass from Lemieux. Naslund just missed putting in his own rebound as the puck was sitting in front of Janusek, but he lost his balance.
Now the face-off to the right of Janusek, and on the draw, Richer loses it. Nichols gives it to Kennedy. Pass broken up by Chris Nyland, right wing corner. Nyland still with it. Backhander blocked by the Kings. Canadiens hold it in, but now a pass deflects out to center, and back to get it is Svoboda, taken away by Taylor. Montreal zone, over to Sykes, and it bounced over his stick. Sykes still with it, left wing side. Penalty coming up against Montreal. A pass in deep, and by the Kings, Rick Lapointe is broken up, and now the penalty. And the Kings will go on the power play, trailing 2-0. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Out of the town,
Light. Smooth, refreshing, less filling.
Now you're talking Stroh's. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times. And Stroh's is spoken here.
Peter Svoboda goes 2 minutes for hooking. Dave Taylor grabbing onto the stick.
That should be holding on
They
Taylor.
let that go, and then after Taylor let go, he was hooked to the ice as the Kings moved the puck in deep. The Kings have not had good pressure on Sotard. Just 2 shots on goal in the first 9 minutes. This is their 3rd power play.
So the Kings got a break there. Taylor could have been called, or should have been called, 2 minutes for holding. Anytime you grab an opponent's stick, that's holding. Pass up the middle by McClelland is intercepted in front of the net now by Naslund. He can't clear it. Here's Taylor, left side. Kings trying to get back in the game. Puck is back behind the Montreal net. Naslund slaps it right point. Held in by Bernie Nichols. Nichols' pass is intercepted and cleared by Mats Naslund of Montreal. All the way down into the Kings zone. 10.5 minutes left to go in the second period. Canadiens leading 2-0. Puck is picked up now by the Kings. McClelland at center. Comes down the left side into the Montreal zone. Lets Taylor go by. Still has it. He's checked from behind by Gainey. They battle for it. McClelland kicks it ahead. Gives it to Taylor. Taylor, left wing corner. Montreal zone on the power play to Redmond. Redmond back to Taylor. Lost it off his stick. And it's cleared by Bob Gainey. Kings 17th in the NHL on the power play, and they just can't get it going. They're trying to get back in the game, and this is an opportunity, but now the Canadiens' Brian Skrubland panned down it at center, taken away by Nichols. Nichols sends it down the right side behind the net. Sykes let it go, comes over toward the left side to Doug Smith. Smith's pass broken up and flipped up over the glass by Rick Green with 48 seconds left to go, and the penalty to Peter Svoboda of Montreal.
Tiger Williams out there on the power play along with his line mate, Phil Sykes. And Doug Smith. Kings will make a couple of changes as they send out Galley and Wells to man the points, but the Kings can't get the power play set up, but give the opposition, the Montreal Canadiens, some credit. The Canadiens skating well now. They've got their game going. They're preventing the Kings from getting sustained pressure on Sotard. They're not allowing them good quality shots, so Sotard has not had a busy time of it, and they're putting the pressure on, forcing some bad passes.
Kings with only 2 shots in this period. The Canadiens have 7. For the game, the Canadiens have 19 shots. The Kings have 10. 2-0 Montreal. Face off to the right of Doug Sotard. Puck is in the corner now on the left side, and it is cleared all the way back into the Kings zone by Mats Naslund. Naslund, not only the leading scorer, has a goal in this game tonight, but out on the penalty killing unit now and doing a good job. And now the Kings with it. Here's Tiger Williams at center ice. His pass hit the skate of Phil Sykes. Now Wells down the right side. Naslund checks Wells, and the puck at center ice picked up by Sykes. He's grabbed there by Carbonneau. Puck comes loose to Doug Smith. 15 seconds to go in the power play, and Smith backhands it behind the Montreal net. Chased in there by Smith and Sykes. Sykes in the corner, right side. Sykes still with it. Sykes along the boards to the blue line to Wells, and his pass tipped by Naslund to center, and the penalty is over. The Canadiens are back at full strength, still leading 2-0. Here's Sykes at the King line. He gives it now to Gary Galley. Galley to the red line, now to the Montreal line. 3 Kings bumped into each other. First it was Smith hit Sykes, and then Galley bumped into Sykes. And the puck behind the Montreal net and frozen there. Kings look really ragged right now, Nick, offensively.
Well, their power play just was disorganized. The Montreal Canadiens went right after the puck carrier, pressured the Kings and making quite a few mistakes. And then when the penalty expired, the Kings tried to get the puck back in the zone, and Gary Galley went right in the middle of the ice, but so did Williams and Phil Sykes, and everybody bumped. Nothing developed, and we got the offsides call, and finally a face-off.
That's the Kings freeway play. Face-off to the right of the goaltender Doug Sotard. Boy, the Kings just not able to beat him. 9-0-3 he is in the last 12 games against the Kings. Bobby Smith, number 15 for the Canadiens, out to take the draw against Dion. Now Lyle Fair, left point, shot from there, and a save by Sotard. On a shot from the left point by Al Tour. score on for the first time in quite a while. Puck is down the right wing corner. Montreal zone. Now Fair battles for it along the boards. Tried to give it to J.P. Kelly. Goes behind the net. Canadians break it up and clear it up on the left wing side. Here's Bob Gainey down the left wing. Gainey shoots, and it's wide to the left side. Rebound going to be taken by J.P. Kelly at center ice. His pass out of the reach of Dion down the right wing, and Chelios beats Dion to it. Dion spins Chelios hard into the boards. Puck comes loose to Dion behind the net. Out on the left side. Held in by Tour, but taken away by Chelios, and he clears it out to center. 8 minutes to go in the second period. Canadians 2, Kings nothing. Pass on the right side by Rick Lapointe, and an offside called against the Kings at the Montreal line. 7:56 to go in the second period. 2-0 Montreal on goals by Sergio Momesso and Mats Naslund.
Bobby Smith came over from the Minnesota North Stars back in 1983. His career started out really booming in Minnesota. Spent 5+ years there. Then he came over to Montreal, and his scoring figures have really dipped. Career high 114 points in 81-82, and he's gone down every year since. A career low just 56 points last year.
Now at center, Brian Skrudland sends it on the right side into the King zone. Puck is battled for. Skrudland has it out to the right point. And a shot by Chelios, and it is saved by Janusek, and he covers up. And a lot of traffic in front of the King net. Janusek is flat on his back in the crease.
Well, Bob, Chelios had all the time in the world. He went in about 3 strides from the right point and moved in about 30 feet and took the shot, and nobody came near to picking him up. The Kings missing some assignments, obviously, right there. A winger has got to come out and cut down that opportunity. A scramble in front, bodies falling all over goaltender Bob Janusek, but Chris Chelios just moving in and almost got the deflection. Janusek did well to just stand his ground to get a piece of the puck, and then the puck was just bouncing around, but the referee lost sight of it long enough to stop play.
On the bottom of the pile was Janusek, with Claude Lemieux being pushed on top of him by the Kings' Brian Engblom. Face off to the right of the King goaltender Bob Janusek. 2-0 Canadians lead. Doug Smith on the draw. The puck is against the left wing boards in the King zone. Skrudland and Smith battle for it now. Redmond comes out with it. Redmond for the Kings over to Tiger Williams. Williams checked there. He had it, then lost the puck. Now taken by Engblom. His pass, right point, intercepted. Chelios. His shot deflected up in the air. Taken on the right side by Claude Lemieux. Lemieux for the Canadians. Checked against the boards by Engblom. Janusek behind the net. Bumped into Redmond. And the puck is against the boards, left wing side. Canadians with it. Mike McPhee. McPhee behind the net in front. Tried to jam it in, and a save by Janusek. Now look out. Lemieux. Is it Lemieux still digging in there? Or
Skrudland, I believe.
Skrudland, 39. It's Skrudland still pushing after the whistle blew.
He is another newcomer, a free agent, signed in September of '83, 6 feet 180, 22 years old, from Peace River, Alberta, last year in their minor league chain. But McPhee did the muscle work, tried to jam it in, and Janusek made the save, and then Skrudland battling with Redmond for the puck. And we got the whistle, and then Skrudland was pushed against the back of the cage. The Canadians just keep coming at the Kings, forcing the mistakes. They're just out skating Los Angeles here in the second period. The Kings with just 3 shots on goal, and none of the 3 shots have come from a high percentage area.
Face-off will be to the left of Bob Janusek. Bernie Nichols on the draw. Stéphane Richer for the Montreal Canadiens. 2-0 Montreal. Face-off in the King zone, and the loose puck is taken by the Kings. Here's Wells in the King zone. He's double-teamed, and Richer trying to take it away, but Wells, while being knocked down, cleared it out to center. Canadians with it again. Puck is sent into the King zone, and back to get it Jay Wells as he spins away from Richer, who went headfirst into the boards. Pass ahead to Bernie Nichols. Nichols gives it to Taylor into the Montreal zone. Taylor down the right side. Nichols came right over and jammed Taylor into the boards. Now the puck is in deep in the right wing corner. Here is Sykes. He is bumped hard by Richer. He got his stick up a little high. Taylor comes in, now picked up on the left side by Nichols. He's knocked down by Robinson. Robinson falls into the boards. Here's Nichols with it. Couldn't hang on to it. Puck is still in the Montreal zone, and finally cleared out to center ice by Peter Svoboda and back into the King zone. Now Sykes wheels it up on the left side to Wells. Wells gives it to Nichols. Bernie drives it into the Montreal zone. Taylor goes for it on the right side. Puck comes up along the boards. Now drops down to the ice. Cleared down to center by Shell Deline. Poked away from Kennedy. Canadians with it. Here's Naslund shooting, and a save by Janicek. Puck is batted behind the net by Al Tour. Puck comes out to the right point. Held in by Ludwig right on the line. His pass over the left side goes to Ryan Walter. Walter now behind the net. Dahlin with it. Dahlin, King zone. Dahlin around the left side. Dahlin still with it. Passes back in the corner. King zone. Puck is centered up the middle to Ludwig. He gives it to Carbonneau. His pass up the middle. Intercepted by Taylor. Taylor back to center. Taylor against Rick Green. Taylor shoots, and a stick save by Sotard. Green with it. He's bumped in the corner. Kings dig it out. Pass in front to McClellan. Tipped away. And the Kings' Dean Kennedy holds it in at the blue line. His pass taken away and cleared high in the air out to center ice and back down into the Kings zone. Taken by Kennedy. Up to center ice to Dion. Here's Dion into the Montreal zone. He shoots, and it's deflected on the way in and gloved by the goaltender Sotard with 5:08 to go in the second period. 2-0 Montreal. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
This is the Prime Ticket Network, home of the Kings, Lakers, and Lasers, plus nearly 200 other power-packed sports events. Make Prime Ticket a regular viewing habit. Call your local cable operator for details.
Bob, you could say here in the second period, the Kings have met the enemy. It's not the Montreal Canadiens. They're running into each other, and they're not handling the puck well at all.
That's right. They look very, very ragged, and in the first period and the other night against Edmonton, they played very well. I don't know how that changes from one period to the other. Maybe the opponents have a little bit to say about it. Puck is faced off to the right of the goaltender Doug Sotard of Montreal, taken by Chris Chelios. Here's Chelios now. He clears it up to center ice, batted away by the glove of Engblom, taken by Bobby Smith for Montreal. Smith into the Kings zone. His pass taken away. Kings have a 2-on-1. Hawkinson to Dion, and they goofed it up at center ice. Hawkinson trying to give it to Dion, and they didn't get the pass, and the Canadians have it in their own zone.
Well, I think Marcel wanted the puck. He wanted to be the quarterback on the 2-on-1, but Hawk had a different idea.
Now Chelios to the King line with a blast, and it's blocked by Engblom and his shin guards. Puck is against the right wing boards. Held in there and sent behind the net by Momesso. Picked up by the Kings. Here's Dion. Dion now kind of showing that little hop and jump that he usually shows when he's about to score a goal. Puck fired by Hawkinson into the Montreal zone. Broken up by Chelios. 4:15 to go. Second period. 2-0 Canadiens. Puck is flipped into the Kings zone, and the Canadians go for a line change. Kings moving left to right. Redmond sweeps it up to McClellan. Max pass back on the right side to Doug Smith. Smith against Svoboda. Smith shoots. It's wide to the right side. Rebound, Paul Gay. Spun around, and no penalty called. Skrudland reached out and spun him around. Puck comes back up to center. Picked up by the Canadians. Down the left side. And Lemieux is dragged down by Wells. No penalty. Puck is picked up against the left wing boards. Tiger Williams battles for it there with Skrudland. Into Lemieux. Up the middle. Shot blocked. Rebound. Again, McPhee, left wing side. Canadians with it. King zone. Lemieux checked in the corner now by Galley. Galley pins Lemieux. Puck is loose. Picked up by Bernie Nichols. Nichols pass behind the net over to Tiger Williams. He's bumped by Larry Robinson. Wells goes for it. He bumps into Skrudland. Wells goes down. Puck is loose. Tiger Williams battles against the boards. And the puck finally whistled dead in the Kings zone. 3:21 to go. Second period. 2-0 Montreal. We'll be back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Now, Chevy announces finance savings up to $1,524 on new 85 S10 Blazer, America's most popular sport utility vehicle. Choose InstaTrack 4-wheel drive, available V6, all the comforts. Save up to $1,060 on new 85 S10 pickup and Maxi Cab 2. Get big 8.8% finance savings on any new 85 Chevy S10 in dealer stock. But this offer is for a limited time, so hurry.
See your Southern California Chevrolet dealer and get what you're driving for.
2-0 Montreal, 3:21 left in the period. The Canadians getting set for a face-off to the left of Janicek. Skrudland was bumped hard by Jay Wells, who was playing without his left glove, and we had some bumping going on out there by the Kings defense in that last sequence.
Face off to the left of Bob Janicek. 2-0 Montreal. Nearing the end of the second period. Puck comes up the middle. Canadians hold it in. Driven down the left wing corner by Ludwig. Taken away by the Kings. Here's Paul Gay in the right wing. Gay up the center ice, right in front of the King bench, knocked down by Mats Naslund. Gay gets up, still has it. Gay shoots, and a save off the blocker by Sotard, and it comes up into the crowd. You know, Naslund, 5'7", 156 pounds, Nick, but he really gets involved.
Well, he does, and he'll get some help out there from his teammates, because the Canadiens, they have some big youngsters. Richer, 6'2", 200. Mamesso, 6'3", 200. They have a big defense. The Kings again struggling to get a high percentage shot on goaltender Doug Sotard. Kings have only thrown about 5 or 6 shots towards Sotard's goal, but he's had a good look at all the shots, and they've been from far out. Gay, Dion, Taylor, Nichols from 35, 40 feet. And when a goaltender faces that type of shot and he gets a good look at it, he's going to be tough to beat.
Doug Smith in for the faceoff, but Gay jumps too quickly on the outside of the faceoff circle, so they'll do it again. 3:05 left to go in the second period. Canadiens leading 2-0. Faceoff to the left of Doug Sotard, and number 23, Doug Smith, moves in again for the Kings. And on the draw, the faceoff is won by Stéphane Richer of Montreal. Richer with it now, brings it up to center. Canadiens with a 2-0 lead. Puck is driven by Chris Nyland back behind the King net, swept around to the right point and out to center ice by Bob Janusek. And the Canadiens, Peter Svoboda, has to go back and get it. His pass off the boards, and or rather Naslund than Svoboda, and an offside called against the Kings. 2-0 Montreal. This game in the second period is coming to you live from the fabulous Forum.
Be at the Forum Monday night, November 21st, as Yvonne Lendl meets Jimmy Connors in the third round of the Forum Tennis Challenge. Preliminary matches get underway at 6 p.m. For ticket information, call 213-412-5000, presented by Adidas and members only.
Bob, a few moments ago, you mentioned the hop in Marcel Dion. That little extra hop. The Canadiens, to a man, have been doing that for the most part here in the second period, and they really dominated the Kings territorially.
Ryan Engblom drives it behind the Montreal net. Canadiens moving right to left. They start out of their own zone. Here's Naslund, their leading scorer at center. Drives it into the Kings zone and back again at Redmond. Canadiens on a line change now. Smith, Gainey, and Momesso come out up front. Here is Fair. Fair's pass tipped into the Montreal zone by J.P. Kelly. Kelly and Chelios, and Kelly whacks Chelios into the boards. Good hit. Puck is bounced out to center ice by one of the Canadiens who just reached out and slapped it out, but what a check. Chelios kind of got turned around, and J.P. just lined him up and really smacked him.
And I think Chelios knew it was coming.
Now here's Craig Redmond. Redmond ahead to Lyle Fair. Fair, Montreal zone. Drives it around the boards. It comes around to Bob Gainey. Gainey trying to clear it. Can't do it. Held in by Hawkinson. Hawkinson along the boards. Loses it there. And it is cleared up to center ice now by Bobby Smith. 1:45 left to go here in the second period. Kings down 2-0. Both goals were scored in this period. Canadiens with it back in their own zone. Chelios with it now. He gives it over on the left side to Tom Curvers. His long pass all the way down into the King zone. This is going to be icing against Montreal as Gary Galley goes back to touch it. 1:30 left to go here in the second period. Canadiens leading 2-0. Kings will be home next Wednesday night when the Detroit Red Wings come in. And then a week from tonight, the Pittsburgh Penguins, featuring Terry Ruskowski and former Kings coach Bob Barry, will be here. Tickets for both of those games available in advance at the Forum box office and all Ticketmaster outlets. And if you want season ticket information for the Kings, Lakers, and Lasers, simply call 412-5000. That's 412-5000 in the 213 area. Face off to the left of Doug Sotard. Kings would like to get on the board here before the end of the period and narrow the gap. They're down 2-0. Off the draw, puck is picked up behind the Montreal net now by Larry Robinson. He tried to clear it, and he did, out to center ice. Jay Wells back to get it. Wells gives it to Galley. Galley shoots it right back into the Canadian zone. Taylor up against the boards with a veteran Larry Robinson. Puck comes loose, and the Kings' Jay Wells tried to hold it in, taken away from behind him and cleared back out to center by Shell Dahlin. Now Peter Svoboda for the Canadiens. He drives it into the Kings zone with a minute left to go in the second period. Wells gives it to Nichols. Now to Taylor. Taylor across the line. Taylor right side. Taylor walking in. Galley got knocked down behind the play. No penalty. Puck comes behind the Montreal net. Larry Robinson with it there. Now in front of the net. Sykes gets knocked down. No penalty. Puck is picked up by the Canadiens' Ryan Walter. Walter, left wing. His pass up the middle now. Out to the left point to Svoboda. And his pass knocked away by Taylor back out to center ice. 30 seconds to go in the second period. Kings are being shut out 2-0. Here is Nichols. Pass up to center ice to Taylor. 23 seconds to go in the period. Taylor across the red line. His pass tipped away by Shell Darlene. Kings get it now again at center. Here is Sykes. Kings getting no offense now as Sykes sends it into the Montreal zone. 8 seconds left to go in the second period. Now the puck cleared out to center ice. Wells takes it away there. Wells to Nichols with a shot, and it's wide, and the buzzer sounds, ending the second period of play. And the Kings fans not happy at all about the lack of offense by the Los Angeles Kings in that period. In the period, only 2 goals, both by Montreal. Rookie Sergio Momesso is fourth, unassisted at .350, made it 1-0. And then their leading scorer, Mats Naslund, got his 11th of the year from Bobby Smith and Stefan Richer at 7:36. That made it 2-0 Montreal, and that's where we stand right now. Coming up, ready to talk with a man that was raised in San Diego and now playing defense for the Montreal Canadiens, Chris Chelios. He'll be next guest. It's 2-0 Montreal at the end of 2 periods. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Once again, Prime Ticket and SC team up for exciting collegiate football entertainment. This week, the Trojans pit their up-and-down season against Joe Cap's California Bears, whose strong offense has weakened a bit in their last 2 games. The Trojans are still out for a bowl bid, and a win over Cal would greatly enhance their cause. See it all from Berkeley as Prime Ticket heats up with SC and California. Laser Soccer returns to the Forum as one of the major indoor soccer league's most exciting clubs comes in for a showdown. It'll be the Cleveland Force providing the opposition as the Lasers look to get back on the winning beam. And remember, Prime Ticket is your place for all the season's explosive Lasers action. So be sure to tune in when the Lasers meet the Cleveland Force right here on the Prime Ticket Television Network.
Skiers have a secret. Mammoth Mountain. The skiing is fabulous. 28 lifts take you to the finest skiing in the West. And the snow? Imagine skiing from November to June. When you're in Mammoth, stay at the Sierra Nevada Inn. You'll love our friendly alpine atmosphere, the free shuttle bus to the lifts, our newly remodeled rooms, and our central location right in the heart of Mammoth Lakes. So when you think skiing, think Mammoth Mountain and the Sierra Nevada Inn, California's best-kept secret.
Playing hockey like a superstar calls for quick response, accurate assists, and hard shots. That's a winning performance. At Michelin, we've got a lineup of top performers for the vehicle you drive. Like the highly acclaimed XH for American cars, the MX series for imports, the XCH4 for light trucks, and our all-season radial, the XA4. Michelin makes only quality radials because so much is riding on your tires. Check the yellow pages for the Michelin dealer nearest you, and remember, buckle up for safety.
Back here at the fabulous Forum, and the score after 2 periods now, the Montreal Canadiens 2, the Los Angeles Kings nothing. The Canadiens with some excellent offensive work and some stingy defense in that second period. The Kings limited to just a handful of shots, and one of the reasons for that strong defensive period for the Montreal Canadiens is our guest, and he is defenseman Chris Chelios of the Montreal Canadiens. Chris, that second period, I guess the way the Canadiens like to play, you've got good mobile defensemen. They're aggressive out there, and you really cut back the Kings offensively.
Yeah, I think our goal tonight was to come out in the first period and not let them score, and then I think the closer the game stays, the better it is for us.
Chris, you've had some excellent scoring opportunities yourself, 5 or 6 good chances on Bob Janusek.
Yeah, I was playing really well tonight. Like you said, I had a good chance. I dove across the net and hit him right in the arm, but he's come up with some really big saves, and I think he's keeping him in the game.
Let's talk about your background. You were born in Chicago. You grew up just down the pike a bit in San Diego. You moved to San Diego at age 15. Where did you play all of your hockey as an amateur?
Most of my amateur hockey I played in Chicago, but from 15 on I played for traveling teams in San Diego, and I played a year up in LA too for a traveling team there. And I got a lot of ice time. I didn't have a lot of competition or so many games, but I had a lot of ice time. I think that helped me a lot.
Did you ever have a desire to play in the National Hockey League living in San Diego? Did you figure it was just going to be a real long shot? No way?
Well, once I moved to California, it was tough. Hockey kind of dwindled for me. I certainly wanted to play in the NHL, but that was a dream I had when I was in Chicago. And sometimes it didn't look good when I was in California, but I stuck to it. I had a little brother I could skate with all the time, and thank God the Kings are out here so I could have something to watch, and things just went right for me.
Now, you went to play junior hockey up in Canada for a couple of years. Now, how did you get recruited to play there?
It's just a coincidence. I met a kid trying out for the United States International University team down in San Diego, and he gave me a number. I just saw him, as a matter of fact, on the beach working out as a team, and I got a number, and a coach phoned me. He played my plane ticket up to Moose Jaw, and things went well.
And then were you recruited to go to Wisconsin from Moose Jaw?
Yeah, 2 years in Moose Jaw, and then I got a scholarship to the University of Wisconsin. It was close to Chicago, and I had a lot of relatives there still, so I thought I'd get an education and, I'd start my schooling, and that way I'd play at least 4 more years of hockey.
Now let's talk about your Olympic experience on the '84 club. We had Paul Gay on between the first 2 periods. What was the biggest factor you got out of the Olympic experience?
I guess I improved my skating. I played all types of hockey. I got to play against NHL, international league level, and what happened in the Olympics wasn't so good. We had a good year traveling, exhibition games, but things happen. They don't go right sometimes, and we just didn't get the breaks during the games.
Well, Chris, you and your club getting the breaks here tonight. You lead 2-0. And Chris, for appearing between periods, we'd like to give you a case of Maxell metal audio and hi-fi gold videotapes, the best tapes in town. This day in history in the National Hockey League, the Chief, Johnny Busick, the great with the Boston Bruins, scored his 1,000th career National Hockey League point back in 1972 against the Red Wings. Again, we're between periods 2 and 3 from the fabulous Forum. Montreal in front 2-0. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
They call them monuments, and they've been around for a long, long time. Well, to me, they're like sentinels, standing guard, watching over the West. Kind of like Great Western Savings. Great Western's been looking out for folks and their money for nearly 100 years. And nowadays, the Great Western family has over $24 billion in assets, and they're federally insured. So, your money is real safe and sound. Great Western Savings. Standing tall, here to stay. Watching over the West for a long time to come.
Barbecues and cowboy shoes, guitars and high gear. Now you're talking country, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's are spoken here.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
Now you're talking Stroh's, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's are spoken here.
This is today's Chevrolet, and this is today's Chevrolet. This Chevrolet is specially modified for the International Race of Champions. This is the new Camaro IROC Z28 built for you.
Chevrolet has powered more winners than anyone in American racing history.
And that helped us build this Chevrolet. World champions drive this Camaro, but the Camaro IROC Z28 makes you feel like a champion.
Drive today's Chevy, live today's Chevy, Chevy.
And back at the Forum once again, the Montreal Canadiens have taken a 2-0 lead over the Los Angeles Kings at the end of 2 periods of play. Well, the Montreal Canadiens, throughout their great history, have had so many truly great hockey players and a number of Hall of Famers in their history. Back in the 1950s, a man by the name of Doug Harvey was one of the top rushing defensemen, in fact, one of the first real rushing defensemen in the National Hockey League. And October 26th was a big night as far as Doug Harvey was concerned, because that was a night at the Montreal Forum that they retired his number. And this, of course, one of the highest honors that any hockey player can get. Let's go back now and meet Doug Harvey.
Montreal-born Douglas Norman Harvey joined the Canadiens in the 1947-48 season when he was 23 years old. An all-around athlete, Doug played pro football in the old Big Four League and once turned down a contract to play professional baseball for the Boston Braves organization. But he did win the batting championship in the Class A Border Baseball League with an average of .351. However, hockey was his first love, and what could be more appropriate than a Montrealer playing for the Montreal Canadiens? Recognition of his defensive skills was slow to come. Perhaps this was due to the deceptive ease with which he executed difficult maneuvers on the ice. Harvey's style might even have been described as lackadaisical, but by the mid-1950s, he had the respect of every player in the old 6-team National Hockey League. His coach, Toe Blake, once said, Doug Harvey is the greatest defenseman who has ever played hockey, bar none. It would be inappropriate to compare Harvey to the likes of high-scoring Bobby Orr. Harvey was a defenseman in the purest sense. His goal scoring was modest, 9 goals in one season, his career high. But he was the consummate playmaker and had the ability to speed up or slow down an entire game when he felt it was necessary. In contrast to his laconic style, he could electrify audiences at the Forum with rushes and pinpoint passing. With the Canadiens, Doug Harvey was on 6 Stanley Cup winning teams, which included the record 5 consecutive Stanley Cups from 1956 to 1960, through which he was an integral part in the yet unequaled accomplishment of that Canadiens team. Throughout his career, Doug Harvey was a Norris Trophy winner as the NHL's best defenseman 7 times. He was chosen to the All-Star team 11 times, 10 times on the first team and once on the second. And in 1973, Doug Harvey was voted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. After his retirement, Doug was an ever-ready participant in many charitable events promoted by the Canadiens, whether it was on the softball diamond or in an old-timers hockey game. It's been 25 years since Doug Harvey wore his sweater number 2 for the Montreal Canadiens. Last year, as part of the Canadiens' 75th anniversary celebrations, the fans voted him to the all-time dream team, along with defenseman Larry Robinson.
The great Doug Harvey, and boy, could he move that puck up the ice, huh? And now his number 2 is proudly hanging from the rafters at the fabled Montreal Forum. Another man whose jersey figures to be retired in future years is the Kings' own great Marcel Dionne. Now, of course, those of us who live in Los Angeles, we hear Marcel interviewed all the time, and we, of course, hear him speaking in English. But Marcel is from Quebec. His native tongue really is French, and Marcel certainly is bilingual, to say the least. French TV is here tonight. They interviewed Marcel Dionne. Let's take a listen to Lionel Duval.
Marcel, le hockey en Californie, la Ligue nationale... Il y a eu des coups assez durs. Je pense qu'avec le départ des Seals d'Oakland, il y a Atlanta également. En fait, vous vous trouvez seul, tout à fait isolé, ou presque. Quel est l'avenir, justement, du hockey en Californie?
Lionel, tu as raison, on est beaucoup isolé. Il y a une possibilité. Si ils vont, disons, après ma carrière, aller chercher une super vedette dans le genre de Mario Lemieux, comme tu sais, sera assez difficile. Mais s'ils peuvent, en équipe, avoir du succès, tu peux survivre ici. Mais tu es en compétition avec les Dodgers, les Lakers, les 2 équipes de football, et qui ont des équipes gagnantes. On a un marché incroyable ici. Si on aurait un succès, une équipe qui est capable de gagner au moins plus que 500 de ces parties, c'est le paradis terrestre, tu ne peux pas demander mieux. Alors, il va falloir absolument qu'elle cherche dans les prochaines années une vedette, sinon ils ne sont pas capables de faire une équipe ensemble, ou dans le genre de Philadelphie maintenant avec les Clark, les Red Gillies qui sont partis pour produire, pour ramener la foule.
And there's Marcel Dionne speaking French to the hockey viewers in Canada. And as you could probably figure out, Marcel was talking about the sports world and hockey in particular as far as the Los Angeles area is concerned. Now Marcel Dionne, whatever language he's speaking, speaks the universal language of hockey, and that is in scoring, as you can see.
Coming up, the third period of play, the Los Angeles Kings trailing Montreal 2-0. We'll be right back.
Los Angeles Lasers Indoor Soccer, the sport of the future.
Lasers Indoor Soccer opening night, Sunday, November 10th, 6 p.m. Lasers notebooks for the first 2,000 youth under 17. The Forum, Sunday, November 10th, 6 p.m.
When you're off on a weekend and your wife is bringing a few odds and ends, send Avis an SOS. When you're going to a charity ball and your car looks like a charity case, send Avis an SOS. When you've got to get to work and you can't get your car to work, Avis will answer your cry of distress with the right car right in your neighborhood. Avis's free day weekend. Rent 3 days for the price of 2.
This year, the Fabulous Forum presents for the first time its greatest show ever. It's Prime Ticket, a new all-sports television network that will have Southern California on the edge of their seats for each and every power-packed event. You'll see the NBA champion Lakers as they look to become the first team in 16 years to win back-to-back titles. You'll see them all season long on Prime Ticket. You'll see the young and aggressive Kings as they battle their way up the ladder in the NHL's very rugged Smythe division. The Kings are exclusive on Prime Ticket only. You'll see the explosive Major Indoor Soccer League fireworks as the Lasers look to set the league ablaze. The Lasers, too, exclusive on Prime Ticket Network. You'll see championship tennis featuring the greatest names in the game, and you'll see them exclusively on Prime Ticket. And it's all for you, Southern California, on Prime Ticket Network.
After a scoreless first period, the Montreal Canadiens scored both of their goals in the second period of play to take a 2-0 lead now over the Kings after 40 minutes of hockey. The first goal scored by Montreal's Sergio Momesso, who took the puck behind the net. There you see Momesso, number 36, along the right wing boards. Now behind the net, he'll try to flip it out in front, but when he does, it hits the back of Bob Janicek, and a nice bounce certainly for Momesso right into the net. A 1-0 lead for Montreal. The second goal scored by Mats Naslund. Now, Bobby Smith brought the puck in. He centered it in. It was centered off of Jay Wells, however. Naslund got it and put the puck in the net. A 2-0 lead for Montreal. Here comes the third period. Up to Bob and Nick.
We're back here at the Fabulous Forum. The Montreal Canadiens in front of the Los Angeles Kings after 2 periods, 2-0. Momesso and Naslund, the goal scorers. Naslund is 11th. He leads the Canadiens in goal scoring.
Kings assistant coach Mike Murphy is standing by downstairs again, and Murph, from up here, it looked like the Kings got a little ragged offensively in that period. I'm wondering how many scoring opportunities you had for them, and what are the instructions that were given them in the locker room just moments ago?
Well, Bob, that was a pretty astute comment. It's the first time all year you've really caught us. I don't think we had a scoring chance that period. At least by my calculations, we didn't. Phil Sykes had one that was considered not bad on the wing on a power play, but we really didn't have any scoring chances. So you give a great deal of credit to Montreal. They've really taken it away from us, and now we're pressing to get some chances. And what happens when you press is you very often make mistakes defensively, which also happened, and then they capitalize to get the lead. So we have our work cut out for us right now.
The best-dressed assistant coach in the National Hockey League, Mike Murphy, does a good job, too, doesn't he, Nick?
He really does, and I know a lot of the fans have really appreciated the job Mike Murphy has been doing. The Kings outshot 2014. Face-offs, they've won their share, 25-18. Penalties, both clubs 3 minors, and on the power play, both clubs are 0 for 3. We have a lot of other action in the NHL. Everything is over with. Philadelphia rolls along 10 in a row, 5-3 over Boston. The Islanders shade New Jersey 3-2. Pittsburgh wins 3-1 over the Chicago Blackhawks. St. Louis and Toronto a 2-2 tie in overtime. Hartford wins at Quebec 4-3. Minnesota over the Rangers 4-3. Calgary nips Washington in the Cap Center 5-4, and Vancouver rebounds 7-2, a win at Winnipeg. They lost again last night 13-0. at Edmonton. Bob Janicek will set up and defend to our right here in the third period. And Doug Sotart, who's got the Kings number, he's had it for a few years now. He is 9-0-3 in his last 12 decisions. He'll defend to our left. And here with the third period, with the Canadiens up 2-0, Bob Miller.
All right, Nick, at center ice, Bernie Nichols ready on the faceoff now. Kings have got to get back in it. They are being shut out here tonight with 1 period left to go. And the Canadiens moving from left to right. Here's Larry Robinson. Robinson's pass up to center ice, broken up by Taylor. Drives it back behind the Montreal net. Canadiens with it again. Robinson's pass up on the right side, hits the boards and stays in the Montreal zone. Taken by Carbonneau. He drives it in deep now around to Ryan Walder. Walder up to Shell Dahlin. Dahlin on the left wing against Engblom. Dahlin, King zone. Dahlin dropped it for Carbonneau. Carbonneau cut off on the left side by Sykes to the blue line to Rick Green. His shot blocked in front and picked up and cleared by the Kings. Engblom. The shot hit the Kings. Craig Redmond, and he's limping over to the bench. Canadiens with it. Shell Dahlin in the Kings zone to Carbonneau. Carbonneau's pass behind the net comes around on the right side of the Kings zone, taken by Gary Galley. Galley still in the Kings zone, slaps it around the boards, out to center ice. Third period just underway. Bob Miller with Nick Nixon. Kings are down 2-0. Both goals scored in the second period. Shell Dahlin flips it into the Kings zone. Then he gets knocked down by Gary Galley. Kings come back to center. Engblom ahead to McClellan. Man, they go offside at the Montreal blue line. And when McClellan touched the puck, he was offside. 18:57 to go in the game. 2-0 Montreal leads in the face-off outside the Montreal blue line. Brian McClellan, all his goals, Nick, 4 of them on the power play this year.
And he has only 1 goal in his last 8 games. Big Mac has got to get it cranked up.
Now the Canadiens clear it up to center ice. Taken there by Jay Wells. Wells to McClellan. Mac sends it into the Montreal zone. Back behind the net. Now Tom Kurvers. His pass knocked down. Loose puck is fought for and taken by the Canadiens. Again behind their own net. Pass by Robinson up on the left side all the way down into the Kings zone. Chased down by Jay Wells. Bobby Smith, not Robinson. Now Smith again at center. Here's Smith, fires it off the boards, back into the Kings zone, taken there by Galley. His pass knocked down, and hard check thrown by Sergio Momesso in the corner on Galley. Galley lost his stick. Momesso behind the King net, gives it to Bobby Smith. Smith, right wing side, check, passes up the middle to the blue line now. Curver shooting wide to the left side. Rebound to Smith. Bobby Smith, Montreal, right wing side, 2-0 lead for the Canadiens. Smith, top of the slot. Smith still with it. Shoots, save, rebound, score by Bob Gainey. Well, the save made, and the rebound dropped right down at Janicek's feet, and Bob Gainey, the veteran left wing, right there to put it in, and Montreal leads 3-0.
Well, Bobby Smith did all the work. He skated to the top of the slot, let the wrist shot go. Save was made up high, and Gainey was free for a split second. Dion and Galley late in getting to the outstanding forward for the Montreal Canadiens, and for Bob Gainey, he picks up the goal to give the Canadiens a 3-0 lead, his 4th of the season.
Now the Kings back in their own zone. They've got to get something going offensively. You heard Mike Murphy, Kings assistant coach, say that he had them for no scoring chances in the second period. Now pass to Doug Smith down the left wing. Smith into the Montreal zone, lost the puck there. It's held in by Gay to Smith. Smith trying to walk out in front. His pass up the middle. Kennedy, his shot saved by Sotard. With traffic in front of him, Doug Sotard makes the save. 3-0 Montreal. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Rise and shine, cast your line, catch the limit here. Now you're talking fishing, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is smoking here.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
Now you're talking Stroh's, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is smoking here.
Third Montreal goal at 2:02. Gainey's 4th from Bobby Smith. Smith with 2 assists tonight, 2 nice assists. The rangy Canadian center with 12 helpers on the season now.
Largest crowd of the year here tonight, 13,101, and they have had nothing to cheer about so far as the Kings side is concerned. 3-0 Montreal. Face-off to the right of Doug Sotart. Smith on the draw, but the face-off taken by the Canadiens. Pass on the right wing now into the Kings zone. Lemieux with a shot in the glove, saved by Janusek. Drops it for Rick Lapointe. Lapointe slams it off the boards. Up on the right side now. Kings come back to center. Gay's pass over to Smith. It went behind him. Picked up by Lemieux again. Down the right wing. Bumped by Rick Lapointe. In front alone. McPhee shot it wide. Mike McPhee got it in front of the King net all alone and shot it wide.
Well, Lemieux is being checked by Lapointe, and Kennedy came over as well, and no one picked up McPhee in front.
Now the puck hops up off the top of the glass and out of play in the Montreal zone. 16:57 to go in the game. 3-0 Montreal.
Mike McPhee, young winger, 6'2", 205. He's shaking his head as he goes to the Canadiens bench. Has 5 points in the young season, but he won't get a better scoring opportunity all year than the one he just received. All alone, no one to beat but the goaltender Bob Janusek, and he missed the stick side by a good margin.
Another collegiate hockey player out of the United States, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, the Engineers. Kings with it. Here's Engblom, former Montreal Canadian, across the line to J.P. Kelly, down the middle, and it hops off his stick. Kelly into the corner, sends it behind the net, taken away by Montreal as they try to clear the zone now. Puck comes out to center ice, chased down by Craig Redmond. Redmond, who took a shot on the leg earlier, back in action. His pass up in the air, knocked out of the air with a high stick. No doubt about that, by Guy Carbonneau. And when he played it, the whistle blows. 16:27 to go in the game. Kings trailing 3-0.
One of the best defensive centers, not only on the Canadiens, but also in the National Hockey League, Guy Carbonneau. A little milestone for him tonight, game number 250 in his short career. Carbonneau and Gainey for the last 2-3 seasons have been line mates, but they've been broken up tonight.
Here's Dion at center ice for the Kings. He's bumped there by Tom Curvers. Dion digs it out, but Carbonneau takes it away. Gives it to Curvers. Right side. Sheldalene to Berlone. He scores! Sheldalene all alone down the middle. Got behind the King defense, and he makes it 4-0 Montreal.
Well, the NHL's Rookie of the Month for October, Sheldalene, scoring his first goal in 6 games as he stepped around Brian Engblom, beating Janusek cleanly on the stick side. And for Dahlin, that is goal number 7 at 3:46. So the Canadiens have it cranked up now, a 4-0 lead here early in the third period, and they're just out skating the Kings.
Tom Curvers should get an assist on that. He gave him a nice pass, and he went down the middle all alone once he got behind Engblom. 4-0 Montreal. At center ice, here's Sergio Momesso. And he loses it, picked up on the left side by Sykes in the Montreal zone. His pass broken up by the Canadiens and brought out to center by Momesso. He sends it down to the King line, intercepted by Nichols. Nichols pass up to Sykes. Here's Sykes giving it back to Galley. Galley to Nichols. Nichols in the Montreal zone. He shoots, deflected into the corner by Svoboda. Picked up by Sykes behind the Montreal net. Out to the left point to Wells. To the right side to Galley. Galley, his backhand pass is caught in midair by Sotart, and he hangs on. 4-0 Montreal, and we'll remind you this game is coming to you live from the fabulous Forum.
Los Angeles Kings hockey is brought to you by Michelin. Michelin, proud sponsor of the Kings, is also proud of its XH Radial. It's the longest lasting tire you can buy. And by Avis. If you need a spare car, send Avis an SOS, and Avis will answer it with a free day weekend special. That's 3 days for the price of 2 from Avis.
Face-off will be in the Montreal zone to the left of the goaltender Doug Sotart.
Dahlin getting that goal, they have credited unassisted, but I got to believe Curvers has got to pick up an assist. The goal at 3:46, 4-0 for Montreal.
Now the Kings really digging a hole for themselves, and they simply have not played very well offensively since the first period. And now on the draw, it comes out to center ice, chased down by Gary Galley. Galley and Wells back on defense. Here's Wells with it. He gives it to Galley. Galley up to center. Kings could gain some ground tonight on Winnipeg. The Jets were beaten by Vancouver, but the Kings can't get their act together here tonight. And a hand pass called against the Montreal Canadiens back in their own zone. So we'll have a face-off with 15:17 to go here in the third period.
Peter Svoboda out of Czechoslovakia second year. 6 feet, 165 pounds. He and Larry Robinson teamed together for most of his first 2 years in the NHL.
Puck is in the Montreal zone. Larry Robinson's pass over on the left side, cleared by Bob Gainey to center. Chased down by the Kings, Gary Galley. 4-0 Canadiens. Here's Wells ahead to Nichols at center. He's checked there, flips it in as Gainey checks him. Sykes knocked down again, this time by Peter Svoboda. No penalty. Puck is against the right wing boards. Gainey steps into Gary Galley. Puck comes loose. Right side. Nichols in front. Back there. Taylor spinning. He shoots just wide to the right. Taylor with traffic in front, spun around a full 360 and then just shot it wide to the right goal post.
And Larry Robinson is hurting as he just barely makes it to the Canadiens bench.
Now Taylor drives it back in the Montreal zone. Kings are down 4-0. A lot of time left, 14:26, but the Kings have got to start getting some offense. Here down the left side is Rick Lapointe. Lapointe in deep, pokes it behind the net, pass out in front, intercepted by the Canadiens. Back they come left to right, up to center. Nyland gives it over on the right side to Naslund. Naslin's weak shot, he was actually trying to pass, and Janusek makes a save and hangs on. With 14:10 to go in the game, Kings have been outshot 24-16 and outscored 4-0.
And again, the Kings struggling for those offensive opportunities. Dave Taylor had a good chance in front, but he just missed the low right corner. Larry Robinson, we mentioned, limped off a few moments ago, and he's standing up on the bench and is still in a bit of discomfort. A big pileup in front of goaltender Doug Sotard as Sykes went down, and Robinson's right leg was at an awkward angle, and he got it caught, and he is hurting.
Kings at center ice now as it's driven down into the Montreal zone, back behind the net. Alan Tour flipped it in. Now the right side, Dean Kennedy with a shot blocked. Hawkinson with a shot and a stick save by the goaltender Sotard. Alan Tour playing up on a wing now rather than defense. Puck is cleared to the blue line, held in by Rick Lapointe. Now it comes over to Hawkinson, tipped away from him, and the Canadiens still can't clear it. Puck bounces up in the air, batted by Craig Ludwig of Montreal out to center ice. Taken by the Kings, Rick Lapointe to Dean Kennedy, ahead to Dion down the middle. Right side, Dion checked by Chelios, and a penalty against Montreal. They're going to get Claude Lemieux. And the Kings go on the power play. It's 4-0 Montreal. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Playing hockey like a superstar calls for quick response, accurate assists, and hard shots. That's a winning performance. At Michelin, we've got a lineup of top performers for the vehicle you drive. Like the highly acclaimed XH for American cars, the MX series for imports, the XCH4 for light trucks, and our all-season radial, the XA4. Michelin makes only quality radials because so much is riding on your tires. Check the yellow pages for the Michelin dealer nearest you, and remember, buckle up for safety.
Al Tour playing up front was interfered with by Claude Lemieux. The penalty at 6:30. Kings trailing 4-0, go on the power play for the 4th time tonight. Face-off inside the Canadiens' blue line.
The Kings have got to get on the board. They're down 4-0, and to the right point, Bernie Nichols fell down but held it in, and now it gets by him as it's cleared by Craig Ludwig of Montreal. 13:15 to go in the game. Kings moving right to left. They're back in their own zone. Redmond gives it to Nichols. His pass tipped, and Redmond with it. Clears it to center. Gave it away, and Ludwig shoots it back in. Taken back behind the King net by Bernie Nichols. Nichols headmans it up to center. Here's McClellan. Leads the Kings in power play goals with 4. Drops it off on the left side to Taylor. He dropped it to Redmond. Redmond down the left side. Redmond into Taylor. Taylor knocked down in the corner. Puck comes against the boards. Redmond tries to hold it in. Redmond digs for it there in the Montreal zone. Gets help from McClellan. Here's Taylor with it. Taylor up the middle to Nichols with room. He shoots. Save. Rebound. Shot up over the glass. And off the glass, comes over on the right side to Nichols. Now to Taylor, right wing corner. Taylor behind the Montreal net. Puck is taken off his stick and fallen on by one of the Montreal Canadiens back behind the Montreal net. It's Craig Ludwig.
Well, another excellent scoring chance. Shouldn't say another, but the second excellent scoring chance here in the 3rd period for the Kings. all the time in the world. Bernie Nichols, the puck was rolling, so Bernie waited to get that puck flat on the ice so he can control where the shot was going, and he tried to pick the upper right corner on Doug Sotard, and Sotard made one of his better saves. He hasn't been tested all that much, and then the rebound by Dave Taylor was either deflected or shot completely over the crossbar. 57 seconds left on the power play.
Face off in the Montreal zone to the left of Doug Sotard. Guy Carbonneau will take the draw for the Montreal Canadiens. Kings have Wells and Galley at the points. Face-off goes to Wells, to Galley. Right side now to Sykes. Sykes sends it in to Tiger Williams. Williams behind the net, let it go to Doug Smith. Out to the blue line to Wells. Here's Wells with it. Wells pass over to Doug Smith. Left wing side. Smith at the left point to Wells. Wells shoots. Fanned partially. Here's Smith shooting. Saved by Sotard. Smith behind the net. Smith over to Sykes. Out to Gary Galley at the blue line. Galley shoots. Tipped wide, picked up by Larry Robinson. He knocks Bill Sykes flying into the corner. Kings hold it in. Galley to Wells, to Galley, top of the slot. Galley to Wells. Wells, left point. Wells to Galley. His shot deflects into the slot. Picked up on the left wing side by the Canadiens, and it is cleared down into the Kings zone by Bob Gainey.
Well, the point men passing the puck back and forth. The fans getting impatient. They wanted either Wells or Galley to pull the trigger.
Now Wells drives it into the Montreal zone. Puck comes around on the left side to Hawkinson. Power play is over. Canadiens back at full strength, and they have it in their own zone. Still 4-0 Montreal with 11:22 left to go in the game. Intercepted at center ice by Galley. On the left side to Hawkinson with a drive and a save, and it got behind the goaltender and was cleared away by Rick Green, the defenseman, up into the crowd. Hawkinson almost beat Sotard, but he made the save. The puck got loose behind him, and Rick Green got back for Montreal to sweep it away. Good hard shot from the left point by Hawkinson.
Sotard got a glove on it, and it deflected right behind him, and I think it hit the backside of his right leg and was just sitting in the goal crease. And fortunately for Sotard, the next player to pick it up was a defenseman, and he cleared it to the side.
Next Wednesday night, the Detroit Red Wings will be here. We'll be on KLAC radio only, starting with the Kings Face-Off Talk Show at 10 minutes to 7. Next Saturday night, the Pittsburgh Penguins will be here, and that game will be on KLAC radio and the Prime Ticket Television Network. Face-off to the left of goaltender Doug Sotard. 4-0 Montreal with 11:13 to go in the game. Both teams are at full strength. Hawkinson ready to take the face-off, but Gainey and Fair jump too soon on the outside of the face-off circle. Face-off in the Montreal zone. Loose puck comes back behind the Canadiens net, fed around to the left side. Rick Lapointe tried to hold it in, couldn't do it. Lyle Fair has to go back to center ice to get it. Fair gives it to Rick Lapointe. Lapointe had it taken away by Sergio Momesso. He gives it to Bobby Smith. Here's Smith, sends it down into the Kings zone. Chased in by Rick Lapointe, goes behind the net. His pass up on the left side to J.P. Kelly, now to Hawkinson, now to Kelly. Kelly up to center ice. Kelly's pass is broken up by the Canadiens, Craig Ludwig. Taken again at center ice by the Kings, Lyle Fair, but a hand pass called against the Kings. 10:43 to go in the game. Canadiens 4, Kings nothing.
J.P. Kelly out there on left wing. J.P. looking for his first goal of the season, but goal scoring really is not J.P.'s forte. He is more of a checker and one of the hardest hitters in the National Hockey League, but I don't care what your role is on a club. It's always nice to get your first goal of the year, and J.P. still looking for it. 10:43 now left to play.
And out at center ice, the draw goes to the Montreal Canadiens. They are well in control of this game. At center ice, Redmond's pass broken up. Now the Canadiens shoot it to the King line as it was shot there by Chris Nyland. It bounces into the King zone. Chased down on the right side by Stephane Richer. His pass behind the net comes around over to Redmond. He jumps out of the way of Nyland. Had the puck. Now passes back on the right side to Paul Gay. Gay's pass behind the King net. Kings still in their own zone. Here is Tour. Tour drops it off to Engblom. Engblom had it taken away from behind. Kings doing a lot of skating and passing, Nick, but they can't get out of their own end. Now Engblom fans on a pass. Now the Kings bring it up to center. Canadiens take it away. Chelios for Montreal gives it to Richer. His pass on the right side to Naslund. Naslund, King zone, top of the circle in front to Richer. One hand, he scores! Redmond all over Richer and couldn't stop him. He got the pass just to the left side of the net and had one hand on the stick and flipped it in. And the Canadiens lead 5-0.
Stéphane Richer, goal number 7, a one-on-one situation, and he just out-muscled Craig Redmond. It's been a problem for Redmond in his first 2 years in the NHL. And the Canadiens just muscle themselves their 5th goal of the game at 10-13. And a lot of fans have seen enough.
They are headed for the exits. Puck is picked up now by Taylor. Taylor across the line, but an offside called against the Kings. 9:36 to go in the game, and the 19-year-old rookie Stéphane Richer with the goal. Naslund with an assist. 10:13 the time of the goal.
We mentioned Richer, 6'2", 200 earlier, native of Buckingham, Quebec. And he just showed some great strength, one-handing that puck past Bob Janusek.
Now the face-off out at center. Taken by the Kings, sent down the left side to Galley. Montreal zone, tipped away. Back come the Canadiens, looking for another one. Svoboda down the left side, or McPhee down the left side. His pass in deep, comes right toward the net, and Janusek covers it up. And a hard check thrown in the corner by Jay Wells. 5-0 Montreal. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
The Chevy S10 Blazer. Now available at low 8.8% financing. That's an average savings of $1,200. See your Southern California Chevrolet dealer.
5-0 Montreal. They have put it away here in the 3rd period with 3 goals. Gainey, Dahlin, and Richer.
Kings moving right to left. Here's Phil Sykes. He fires into the Montreal zone. Back to get it. Peter Svoboda goes behind his own net, drops it into Larry Robinson. Robinson back out on the ice after being shook up, and here's the 3-on-2 for Montreal. At center ice, Canadiens with it. Pass by Skrudland, left side, and a shot deflected. Rebound around the right side. Canadiens still with it to Larry Robinson. Shooting for the right point. Save. McPhee goes for it. McPhee didn't get it. Kings have their own zone, and Galley gives it away to Skrudland. Skrudland down the right side. He is checked against the boards, and the puck is falling on down there. So with 8:46 to go in the game, 5-0 Montreal. I'll tell you who the Kings need, Nick. Red Berenson. 17 years ago this week, the Red Baron with the St. Louis Blues scored 6 goals in a road game at Philadelphia.
Leading rookie scorers in the National Hockey League. 2 from Montreal lead the way. Richer and Dahlin each with a goal here tonight. That is updated, current as of tonight's game. Ridley of the Rangers, Gary Suter, defenseman with Calgary, and Peter Klima with Detroit of Czechoslovakia. Top 5 rookie scorers.
And we'll see Peter Klima here on Wednesday night. And if the Kings, like the rest of us, were wondering who are all these guys, the anonymous names in the Montreal uniforms, they're certainly finding out tonight.
Well, the Canadiens obviously like to look at the Quebec Major Junior League for a lot of their talent. If a superstar emerges from that league and he's not playing in Montreal, Quebec, the fans let them know. And I think the prime example was Dennis Savard a few years ago. The Canadiens passed on him, and of course he wound up in Chicago. But guys like Mamesso and Richer showing a lot of promise here tonight.
Here's Rick Lapointe with a shot, and a stop made. A rebound tipped up in the air and over the net by Paul Gay, and it lands on the top of the net. And I think perhaps had been hit with a high stick, as the faceoff is going to be moved outside the blue line of Montreal.
Well, Rick Lapointe letting that soft shot go. It bounced. Sotard made the save, and then the rebound was chipped at by Paul Gay, and it hopped up. And Sotard got a piece of it again, and it dropped on top of the net. And
Gay
I guess it lodged there.
Yeah, in midair, and that was the reason for the whistle. Now Tiger Williams, left side, Montreal zone, gives it to Doug Smith. He's bumped to the corner. Puck is wrapped around the boards to the right point, held in by Dean Kennedy. His pass taken away. Canadiens try to clear it, can't do it. Paul Gay tries to hold it in on the right side in the Montreal zone. Now Kennedy with it, gets help from Doug Smith, and at the whistle, Puck whistle dead, and Kennedy shoves Rick Green of Montreal.
Rick Green coming over a few years ago along with Ryan Walter in that big deal with the Washington Capitals. The Capitals acquiring Langway, Brian Engblom, who now is with the Kings, Dougie Jarvis, and Craig Laughlin. Bob Janusek, the lonely man tonight, 5-0 for the Montreal Canadiens. 8:02 left in the period, and I'm sure now the Canadiens will think shutout and try and protect it for goaltender Doug Soutard. Again, this is Soutard, his third start of the season. He went about the first 10 games before he finally got in there.
Los Angeles Lasers will be here tomorrow night in action, 6 p.m. against Chicago in the Major Indoor Soccer League. Puck comes up to center ice now, tipped ahead by Gainey. Taken back in the King zone by Redmond to Kelly. Kelly's pass up to center ice, broken up by Tom Curvers. Chased down, and an offside going to be called here against Montreal as Momesso went into the zone ahead and then was trapped offside. 5-0 Montreal. And we'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
They waited all this time, practiced all these years for this one event. Now we have them all. Lendl, Connors, McEnroe, Noah, all here for the Forum Championship Tennis Challenge. But who will be champion? The Forum Championship Tennis Challenge. Don't miss it. Jimmy Connors battles Yvonne Lendl in round 3 of the Forum Championship Tennis Challenge. Get your tickets at all Ticketmaster outlets or the Forum box office now.
Play underway again with 7:35 left to go in the game, and off the faceoff, the puck frozen against the boards. Well, the Kings, Nick, going to have 3 games left on this homestand, and again, as we said earlier, these are teams that you would think the Kings could end up beating. Montreal came in here a game below 500, but they have certainly played well tonight. Kings have not played very well at all offensively and at times defensively. Now Detroit coming in, they're struggling. Pittsburgh coming in, they're struggling. Then New Jersey coming in. Kings have got to start winning at home. I mean, it's as simple as that, or else you just start falling further and further behind. Shot from the left side is over the net by Gainey. Puck held in by Chelios. His pass down along the right side. King zone. Canadians with it. Puck is dug out in the corner by Sergio Momesso. He goes behind the net with Engblom. Engblom passes around the corner. Momesso stays right with him and gets the puck. Gives it to Bobby Smith. Smith tapped on the back by Redmond. Smith backhander and a save made by Janusek. Now the puck comes up to center ice. Chased down by Hawkinson. Hawkinson to the blue line, and the Montreal Canadiens drives it in deep, and J.P. Kelly was ahead of the puck offside.
Well, again, the Kings, like magnets at times, they all want to go for that puck instead of staying wide on the attack and creating some open ice to make a pass and get open for a shot. That's exactly what defensemen want to see. Our forwards coming together. Now we have a fight. Tour and one of the Canadians going at it.
Right down in front of the Montreal bench.
It's either Nyland or Dahlin. I think it might be Nyland.
I think it is. Chris Nyland and Al Tour. And now Nyland has his helmet knocked back, and Tour trying to get in a right hand, but he has his hand held, and Nyland trying to get in a right hand, and Nyland puts a headlock on Tour and wrestles him down to the ice. 6:43 left to go in the game. And Tour gets into a battle with Chris Nyland, but 5-0 Montreal leading, and that says it all right up there on the scoreboard. 6:43 to go in the game.
Well, I think it's too late in the game, and the score is too one-sided for a scrap like that to accomplish anything. Chris Nyland led the National Hockey League in penalty minutes last year as well over 1,400, averaging close to 5 penalty minutes a game. Just got back from an 8-game suspension for getting his stick up, butt ending Rick Middleton of the Boston Bruins. Pat Quinn, the Kings, on the bench, all trying to figure out just what they can do here on Forum Ice. This is home game number 8, and the Kings only have 1 home win to show for it. And that, I think, is the biggest reason why they're off to the slow start, not taking advantage of the home schedule.
And they could have picked up some ground on Winnipeg tonight. Luckily for the Kings, Winnipeg is struggling. They got beat tonight by Vancouver 7-1, and so Winnipeg has 13 points. They're in 4th place in the Smythe division. The Kings have 7. They're in last place, but the Kings simply not able to make up any ground playing this way.
7 minutes to Tour and Nyland. We have under 7 to play, so they go to the dressing room. High sticking, 2 minutes, 5 minutes fighting apiece. Al Tour and Chris Nyland.
Faceoff will be outside the Montreal blue line. There was no scoring in the first period tonight. Then in the second period, 2 goals by Montreal. Momesso and Naslund scoring. Here in the third period, 3 goals by the Canadiens. Gainey, Dahlin, and Richer. And it's a 5-0 Montreal lead. And the Kings showing no indication whatsoever of mounting any kind of a comeback. Here's a 3-on-2 for the Canadiens. Down the right side. Here's Naslund into the Kings zone. Drops it back to Chelios. He gets bumped from behind by Dion, who came back. Puck is held in, or it was Richer. I'm sorry, Richer. Indeed, he gets knocked down by Gary Galley. Galley behind the King net. Plays it up on the left side to Lyle Fair. Fair headmans it out to center now to Paul Gay. Gay across the line, and he is checked by Larry Robinson. Puck is picked up by the Canadiens. They move back out left to right. Pass by Naslund over on the left side. Gainey with a shot and a glove save by Janusek. 6 minutes to go in the game. Here's Lyle Fair. Fair starting up the center on the left wing for the Kings. Drives into the Montreal zone. Rebound over to Dion. Dion on the right wing. He sends it in deep. Larry Robinson takes it away. Robinson behind the net. His pass around behind the net again, and the Canadiens still with it in their own zone with 5:42 left to go in the game. Kings take it away. Backhander by Gay is blocked on the way in. Canadiens come back. Up to center ice. Ryan Skrudland fires it back behind the King net. Janusek lets it go to Kennedy, and as Kennedy touches it, we have an icing call against the Montreal Canadiens. 5-0 Montreal, and we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
This is the Prime Ticket Network, home of the Kings, Lakers, and Lasers, plus nearly 200 other Power-Pack sports events. Make Prime Ticket a regular viewing habit. Call your local cable operator for details.
Bernie Nichols out to take the draw. Dave Taylor, Phil Sykes. All the Kings held off the score sheet. Nichols came in with a 6-game point scoring streaks.
Now the Canadiens with it. Brian Skrudland in deep, passes around behind his own net over to Mike McPhee. He clears it out to center ice. At the red line, Kings take over. Rick LaPointe over to Dave Taylor. Taylor slaps it right back in. 5:15 to go in the game. And Doug Sotard continuing to shut out the Kings in front. Taylor with a pass behind the net to Nichols. Nichols couldn't control it against the left wing boards. Now at the left point, Rick LaPointe tries to hold it in. He's bumped there. Canadiens dig it out. Here's Rick Green, 3-on-2. Gives it to Claude Lemieux down the right wing. He's checked there by Taylor. Puck is back out at center ice. Canadiens have it right in front of their own bench. Here is Skrudland. His pass into the Kings zone, chased down by Dean Kennedy. Kennedy slaps it off the boards, but the Canadiens hold it in now. Loose puck. Swept in deep, taken away by Kennedy. He drives at the length of the ice. Kings going to be called for icing now. 4:36 to go in the game. 5-0 Montreal, and a real disappointment, Nick, because of such a good performance by the Kings last Wednesday night against the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, it's amazing how things can change from one game to the next. 25 shots in the first period alone the other night, and the Kings only have 19 for the entire game here tonight. But the Montreal Canadiens, you have to give them credit. They've been very stingy on defense. They've moved the puck well on offense. They've stayed wide. They've created some opportunities by opening up the ice. And for the Kings, they've struggled offensively ever since the midpoint of that first period. And they just haven't got it on track tonight.
Detroit Red Wings will be here Wednesday night. A week from tonight, the Pittsburgh Penguins will be here. And then the following Tuesday, the New Jersey Devils, and that'll end this homestand. But home ice has not been favorable to the Kings at all this year. Puck taken now by Chris Chelios of Montreal. Up the center ice to Ryan Walder. His pass to the King line, broken up by Paul Gay. Gay gives it to Doug Smith. Smith at center, rolled it into the Montreal zone. Broken up there by Chelios. He clears it back out to center. Taken there by Gay. Gay sweeps it away from Carbonneau and then drives it into the Montreal zone. 4:10 left to go in the game. Puck comes around the left wing boards. Engblom tried to hold it in. He did. Loose puck taken by Tiger Williams. His shot and a glove save by Sotard. And he hangs on. with 4:03 to go in the game. 5-0 Montreal. This game coming to you live from the fabulous Forum.
Coming up tonight after hockey here on Prime Ticket, college football, Pac-10 action, the UCLA Bruins against the Arizona Wildcats from Tucson, Arizona. This game really with Rose Bowl implications. UCLA and Arizona on Prime Ticket tonight.
Bobby Smith out to take the draw for the Montreal Canadiens. He has set up 2 of the 5 goals for the Canadiens tonight. Last year for Montreal, he had 40 assists among his 56 points. One year, he had 71 assists back in 81-82. Rangy guy and tough to knock off that puck.
Puck taken now in the Montreal zone by Jay Wells against the left wing boards. He passes into Hawkinson, back to Wells. Wells didn't get the shot off. He's wrapped up from behind by Momesso. Puck is driven around the boards and out to center ice, and Gary Galley trying to get to it. It's poked ahead down the left side by Gainey. Drop pass back and in front. Smith shooting, saved by Janasek. Didn't even know where the puck was for a moment till it hit his stick. Good play by the Canadiens. Kings come back out to center now. 3.5 minutes to go in the game, and they were flying into the Kings zone that time.
Boy, Bob Gainey down left wing just rambled, and at the base of the circle he dropped it, and Smith beat everybody to the puck again.
Now back in the Montreal zone. Here is Peter Svoboda. He sends it behind the net. Pass up on to the left point to Rick Lapointe. He holds it in. Canadiens take it away. Canadiens are going to come to an even 500 on the year, 6-6-2, and they will keep pace with the Hartford Whalers, who won tonight. Kings will be 3-11-1. And now a shot from the right point deflected up into the crowd behind the Montreal net. 3 minutes exactly left in this game, and the Kings trailing 5-0. Kings will be 3-11-1, and the Kings in danger of being shut out now. Nick, last one was against Buffalo.
And it was Tom Barrasso's first National Hockey League shutout, January 18th, 1984. The Kings have already been shut out this year. That was on that last road trip when they were whitewashed by John Van Beesbrook and the Rangers 5-0.
Now the Kings with it. Here is Dean Kennedy in the Montreal zone. His pass in front deflects off Rick Green. Over on the right side to Bernie Nichols. Nichols pass behind the net to Taylor. Taylor around in front. His pass right through the slot. Nichols right side shoots. Deflected by the Canadiens. Rick Green. Back they come down the left side. Montreal Strudlin to McPhee with a drive, and it's blocked on the way in. Kings come back. Here's Sykes. Headmanning it up to Bernie Nichols. Nichols across the line. Nichols right side. Montreal zone to Sykes. He didn't get the pass. 2:28 to go in the game. 5-0 Montreal. Canadiens trying to protect the shutout now. Up to center. Here is Claude Lemieux. He rolls it easily into the Kings zone. Janasek stops it there. He drops it off for Rick Lapointe. Lapointe up the center. Gives it to Nichols. Nichols across the line. Nichols stopped there. Puck taken by Stephane Richer. He's got Naslund breaking, and it's intercepted at center ice by Kennedy. Now to Nichols. His pass to the Montreal line. Tipped away by Dave Taylor. Taylor down the left side. Montreal zone. Taylor cutting in. He shoots, and a save. Rebound. And another save by the goaltender, Sotard. Sykes thought he had it in, but the referee right there, no goal. 5-0 Montreal with 1:57 to go.
Well, Phil Sykes on the rebound as Dave Taylor tried to muscle in front. Sykes almost jammed it in off the pad of goaltender Doug Sotard, but clearly on our replay on the simulcast, the puck never did go over the goal line. And I think it might have hit the inside of the post as Sotard got some help there, but Dave Taylor one-on-one with Curvers dumped it in front. It went off Chelios, then into the pad, the right leg pad of Sotard. Sykes came barreling in to loosen the puck, but the puck never did cross the goal line. 1:57 left to play.
Face off to the right of goaltender Doug Sotard. 1:57 left to go in the game. Nick will be interviewing the player of the game at the end of this game. Canadiens have a 2-on-1. Richer to center ice. His poke checked away by Redmond. Puck comes down into the Kings zone. Only question left now is, can the Kings get a goal and ruin Doug Sotard's shutout? Puck is in the right wing corner, Kings zone. Out to Chelios at the right point. Chelios, his pass, knocked down by Tiger Williams. Williams on the left side, gets it to Engblom. He pokes it out to center ice, taken away by Naslund. Now Naslund into the Kings zone, drops it off to Sergio Momesso. Back to Naslund, right wing corner. Naslund, his pass up the middle, intercepted by the Kings. Smith ahead to Williams. He cleared it out to center. 1:14 to go. It's taken away by Richer. All alone in front. He shoots. He scores. Stéphane Richer stole the puck at the King blue line. Went right down the middle, deep to the left side, and got his second goal of the game, 8th of the year, with 1:09 remaining. And it's 6-0 Montreal. Stéphane Richer, 19-year-old, number 3 draft in 1984 out of the Quebec Junior League. Engblom tried to get it to the blue line, but he was checked, and Richer went to his backhand and put it in. Now the puck at center ice. 1 minute to go in the game. The last time the Kings were shut out, October 25 in New York by the Rangers 5-0. Now J.P. Kelly down the left side, rolls it into the Montreal zone, broken up by Rick Green. Momesso gets an assist on the goal. At 18:51, Richer with his second of the game. Here they come again. Right side, McPhee shooting and a save by Janusek. Taken by the Kings. 30 seconds to go, and the Canadiens will have the shutout. Here's J.P. Kelly down the left wing with a shot and a stick save by Sotard, as Kelly had a good shot on net. Now the loose puck back in the left side. A shot by Fair and a save in the pads of Sotard. 15 seconds to go. Puck comes out to center ice. 6-0 Montreal. And Rick Green sends it into the King zone. That's going to do it. The shutout is only moments away now. 3 seconds to go. That's going to be it. The game is over. 4 goals in the third period for Montreal. Doug Sotard with his 4th career shutout, his first with Montreal, as the Canadiens beat the Kings 6-0 here tonight on the Forum ice. In just a few moments on our post-game show, Nick will be talking with a player of the game, a star of tonight's game. Canadiens win it 6-0 here at the fabulous Forum in just a moment. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
This year, the Fabulous Forum presents for the first time its greatest show ever. It's Prime Ticket, a new all-sports television network that will have Southern California on the edge of their seats for each and every power-packed event. You'll see the NBA champion Lakers as they look to become the first team in 16 years to win back-to-back titles. You'll see them all season long on Prime Ticket. You'll see the young and aggressive Kings as they battle their way up the ladder in the NHL's very rugged Smythe division. The Kings are exclusive on Prime Ticket only. You'll see the explosive Major Indoor Soccer League fireworks as the Lasers look to set the league ablaze. The Lasers, too, exclusive on Prime Ticket Network. You'll see championship tennis featuring the greatest names in the game, and you'll see them exclusively on Prime Ticket. And it's all for you, Southern California, on Prime Ticket Network.
Playing hockey like a superstar calls for quick response, accurate assists, and hard shots. That's a winning performance. At Michelin, we've got a lineup of top performers for the vehicle you drive. Like the highly acclaimed XH for American cars, the MX series for imports, the XCH4 for light trucks, and our all-season radial, the XA4. Michelin makes only quality radials because so much is riding on your tires. Check the yellow pages for the Michelin dealer nearest you, and remember, buckle up for safety.
Back again at the Fabulous Forum, where the Montreal Canadiens have a 6-0 victory over the Los Angeles Kings tonight. In the third period, Bob Gainey made it 3-0 with his 4th of the year, assisted by Bobby Smith at 2:02. Then Shell Dahlin, their fine rookie, got his 7th of the year from Tom Kerbers at 3:46. That made it 4-0 Montreal. Then rookie Stéphane Richer got 2 goals, his 7th of the year from Naslund at 10:13. That made it 5-0 Montreal. And then Richer again, his 8th of the year, assisted by Sergio Momesso, another rookie. And boy, they've got a lot of good-looking rookies on this team. as Richet's second goal at 18:51 made it 6-0. Shots on goal in the third period, Montreal had 16, the Kings had 8, and for the game, Montreal 36 shots and the Kings 22. Doug Sotard gets his 4th career shutout. He has a massive